Town Atlanta, WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards says this morning's rain is fading, but could see some afternoon pop-up storms as well. High will get back into the low 80s. Plenty more rain possible this weekend. Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast is coming up. Well, heads up if you have plans on parking in Hartsfield-Jackson Airport. Starting today, prices are going up, way up.
What you will see now, for instance, in our South and North hourly, the new rates will be $10 per hour.
That's up from $3 per hour. Airport Chief Revenue Officer Tyrania Smith says it's the first rate increase in 8 years. Daily rates will go from $19 to $30. She says there are several reasons for the price hike, including expensive, debt from new and refurbished lots, and increase in the Consumer Price Index. Well, it's May 1st, not the traditional deadline day to file your taxes, but it is this year for us. Several southern states got automatic extensions from the traditional April 15th tax day because of federal emergency declarations following last year's tropical weather.
We suggest people to try to do things electronic. It's safer, faster, easier than doing paper.
Stacey Engel with the IRS says payments for any owed taxes are also due today. Now, if you can't pay what you owe in full, she recommends as large a payment as possible to reduce any penalties you may incur. Also today, the city of Snellville breaks ground on a new $13 million community center.
It'll have 2 full-size indoor basketball courts, the upper indoor walking track. It'll have 3 other activity rooms.
Snellville Mayor Barbara Bender says the center will be built among the 80 acres at Briscoe Park on Lenore Church Road. Construction starts on Monday. The doors should open to the center sometime late next year. An organization in Atlanta plans to do more to help kids start saving money.
Operation Hope is teaming up with Atlanta Public Schools to open more than 10,000 child savings accounts. They'll start with a $50 deposit that can grow over time and later be used for college or trade school expenses. It's a big expansion of the Atlanta Child Savings Program, which has already opened thousands of accounts for kindergartners across 40 schools. The goal is to teach young kids about financial literacy and help them build a secure financial future. I'm Bloomberg's Monica Ricks for 95.5 WSB.
All right, so the question is, who's a better writer, real students or artificial intelligence? British researchers note essays written by ChatGPT are surprisingly coherent and grammatically correct, but they lack a personal touch. They say AI essays also don't take a clear stance on issues. Teachers admit, though, it's getting harder and harder to detect cheating. Researchers hope AI can be used as a teaching tool and not just as a shortcut for students. It's 9:03. Mark Arum Show begins in less than 2 minutes. But first, live team coverage of traffic and weather. Start with Triple Team Traffic. Spilo Mark McKay.
Starting to ease out the delays. Judd on I-20 out of the western suburbs. Still a little slow as you approach Thornton Road, exit 44. If you're making that turn onto Thornton Road southbound, beware the delays still in place until the traffic signals get fixed. JamCam still shows traffic signals flashing red in all directions. Thornton Road at Douglas Hill Road. Brake lights are plenty red heading north 166 Langford Parkway. Still a big crowd heading north into the city past John Lewis Freedom Parkway and out of northeast Atlanta on 400 south at Sidney Marcus Boulevard, coming to a slow zone as you approach North Druid Hills Road out of Brookhaven 85 south towards 17th Street. Suddenly they're slowing on I-85 in Swanee. Ashley Frasca.
A crash knocking out 2 right lanes. 85 northbound as you approach Lawrenceville Swanee Highway 317, causing some delay there. Southbound still riding the brakes from Highway 316. Finally starts to get a little bit better below Indian Trail. 400 south, the worst of that left over between Haynes Bridge and Holcomb Bridge. 575 south moving much better out of Cherokee County this morning. Still some sluggish traffic getting out of Bartow County. 75 south down to 92. Triple Team Traffic, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Mostly cloudy today with scattered pop-up showers and thunderstorms, high 83.
Storm tracker radar showing most of that heavy rain from this morning has now moved out of our area. Still seeing rain, though, especially across the North Metro area. It is currently 66 degrees in Crabapple, 67 degrees in Lilburn, 69 degrees right now in Midtown Atlanta at 9:05. More news at 9:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Judd Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
I have a really good feeling about today. I think today's going to be a great day for everyone listening. One of you is going to win Mega Millions or something. Something fantastic's going to happen today. Welcome to the Mark Arum Show. We've got another stacked show for you, my friends. 1 hour from now, Gubernatorial candidate, State Senator Jason Estevez, is going to join us live. He is the first Democrat to announce his candidacy to run for the governor's seat here in Georgia. Very excited to talk to State Senator Estevez about his gubernatorial campaign. This is a great get. Manola Zubiria. Judd doesn't know that name. You might not know that name, but he's a big deal. He is the chief tournament officer for the FIFA World Cup. He is going to join us talking about a couple of huge football or soccer events coming here to Atlanta. And we're obviously going to update our top local stories throughout the day. But to me, I want to start off what I think can be an absolute game changer in one of the biggest stories we've encountered in the last 2 decades. That, of course, the Russia-Ukraine war. Joining us covering the story, correspondent Rory O'Neill. Rory, good morning. First, the rare earth minerals deal was on, then off. Now, apparently back on again. What can you tell us about this possible rare earth minerals deal between the United States and Ukraine?
So the broad framework has been agreed to. It was signed yesterday by our Treasury Secretary and a counterpart from Ukraine. It's the U.S.-Ukraine Reconstruction Investment Fund. Essentially, the U.S. and Ukraine will go hand in hand in trying to set up deals to bring in investment that would allow for mining of rare earth minerals. It would allow for exploration of oil, natural gas, and also upgrade the pipeline and port systems there in Ukraine. So it's a pretty broad deal. Now, it does not reimburse the U.S. for all the stuff we've sent these past 3 years. But going forward, as we send military hardware, that may be considered a contribution to this investment fund. So it might be more of an incentive to keep up the military support for Ukraine.
Interesting. Now, the first deal that was supposed to be signed obviously didn't after that disastrous meeting in the Oval Office when Ukrainian president was shown the door. Is this the same deal, do we know, that was going to be signed before that Oval Office blow up, or have there been changes to it?
Yeah, we believe there were some slight changes, so nibbles around the edges, but the fundamentals are still the same. The other big point here is that there's no security guarantee, nothing explicit. So let's just imagine there's the Mark Aram mining companies that's up in the Kherson region of Ukraine, and you are spending millions of dollars to try to mine titanium there. Well, let's say now someone comes to attack you, probably Russia, but let's say someone comes to attack. The U.S. will likely try to provide some protection for the Aram Mining Company, but there's nothing explicit to say that if anyone comes in and attacks Ukraine, the U.S. has to go in with the 82nd Airborne, put boots on the ground, and defend Ukraine. That's not there, but it's likely that the U.S. would protect such investments from America.
Yeah, with U.S. Boots on the ground, mining boots, not military boots, it would seem to be a deterrent that, to prevent Russia from attacking those areas where there are U.S. civilians doing the mining. So at the very least, it might not be written out military protection, but it's just assumed that, Russia would think twice about attacking a region that was housing U.S. workers.
Well, right. And oddly enough, one of the big reasons that Russia says was behind the war was they did not want Ukraine to join NATO. So you may actually have more American involvement in Ukraine now than you would have had Ukraine been allowed to be part of NATO.
Rory O'Neill joining us on the Mark Aram Show. Over the last week or so, Rory, we've kind of seen a shift from the West Wing when it comes to the Russia-Ukraine war. Obviously, President Trump was pretty harsh on Putin on Truth Social. He had the meeting with Zelensky before the papal funeral, and now the agreement of the rare earth minerals deal. This seems like good news for Ukraine over the last week, and really not so good news for the Kremlin.
Well, especially as Russia has been launching more and more aggressive attacks. I mean, that's the other thing. You had President Trump out there saying, I think Vladimir Putin wants peace. I really see an opportunity here. He had said that Zelensky was the one dragging his feet, but then it's Putin who's launching attack after attack on residential communities in Kyiv. So you sort of left President Trump stuck saying, I'm out here saying, Vlad, you're out trying to support peace, but you're the one launching attacks on civilian targets. So add that to the meeting, as you said, at the papal funeral mineral, and now this this deal for mining rights, it does seem that the U.S. is siding a bit more with Ukraine in this, because there were allegations that the U.S. was cozying up too much to Putin, especially sending Steve Witkoff there for 4 meetings now with Putin, and nothing to show for it.
Yeah, and I would imagine our NATO allies are happy about this deal as well. Rory, great stuff as always. Thanks for your time, buddy.
Thanks, Mark.
Now, I don't want to, this isn't hyperbole, but I think this is a changing of the tide when it comes to the Russia-Ukraine war. If you go back a week ago, they were literally dancing in the streets in Moscow going, oh my God, we got everything we want. This is amazing. This is great. And then Putin struck Kyiv with the missiles. And you remember President Trump took to social media. He was like, Vladimir, stop. That lit a fire under President Trump, I think. And then he had that meeting, and I talked with Rory about that, right before the Pope's funeral, that one-on-one meeting. Things are changing now. This, to me, this is phenomenal news. Phenomenal news. This rare earth minerals deal, now that it's finally signed, and there were some differences from the original one. Apparently, Ukraine's getting a better deal on this one than the original one that's posed, but that's fine. U.S. is still going to have financial interest there. This could be a big win-win for both Russia and Ukraine. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent yesterday talking about the deal.
It's time for this cruel and senseless war to end. The killing must stop, and both the United States and the government of Ukraine look forward to quickly operationalizing this historic economic partnership for both the Ukrainian and American people.
All right, so the Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent yesterday talking about this rare earths mineral deal, and I think that maybe the Treasury Secretary, maybe the president, maybe the entire cabinet realized that what I've been saying for months now, there's been no incentive for Vladimir Putin to come to a ceasefire deal, to end this war. He had as President Trump said, he has all the cards. He's winning the war on the ground. United States pausing military aid, pausing information sharing with intelligence. I mean, he literally had everything stacked in his favor. And I think then President Trump realized, well, Putin's never going to come to the table. He's just never. So what can we do? The art of the deal. What can we do to gain some leverage over Russia and maybe force Putin to the table and get to a ceasefire deal? Rare earth minerals. It's back. It's back. So what does that do in the grand scope of the Russia-Ukraine war? You heard Roy mention the Mark Arum Mining Company. Not a bad idea. Let's say there's 150 people from the United States working for a mining company, mining those rare earth minerals. Vladimir Putin cannot launch anything militarily within a 100-mile radius of those American citizens in Ukraine. It's a game changer now. Missile or drone strikes with Americans there. And sure, we're not sending, U.S. soldiers there. There's not NATO soldiers there. There's not European Union soldiers there. But just the mere presence of United States citizens and a business interest in Ukraine, that really limits what Vladimir Putin can do militarily. And my hope is, I'm just so excited about this. My hope is that this is the first domino to fall in a real changing of the tides in this Russia-Ukraine war. Let this be a successful deal. Let our relationship, the relationship between President Trump and President Zelensky, warm. I truly think we'll be on the right side of history on this. No more Kremlin talking points. No more Ukraine started this war. I didn't want to live in a world where we were on the side of Russia, Iran, and North Korea, because those are the sides of the war. It's the democratic countries, the democracies, all of them, and Ukraine against Russia, North Korea, and Iran. Do we really want to be on that side? And it seemed like we were going to be on that side. but I am wildly optimistic about this rare earth mineral deal. I think it's a possible game changer. And as the Treasury Secretary said, this could be the first thing that saves lives on both sides. Civilian, militarily, too many people have died in this war. The biggest land war in Europe since World War II. We have been watching it unfold. And now I see light at the end of the tunnel. I love that they got this rare earth mineral deal knocked out. Whatever it was it the papal influence? Did Pope Francis lay hands on Trump and Zelensky as they were meeting in the Vatican there and say, hey, guys, get this done? Whatever your belief system is. I don't know, but I think it is absolutely fantastic. And we're getting reaction around the world. This is John Donison, a BBC News correspondent in Kyiv.
There are no explicit security guarantees in this deal for Ukraine, but implicitly, if America has a bigger stake, a bigger financial stake in this country, then they're going to want to protect those interests.
Yes.
And we're talking about a deal that is not short term. It's a decades-long deal.
Decades-long deal. No military guarantees, but as John said it much more eloquently than I, it's implicit. You have American soldiers, American companies, American financial interest in Ukraine. What are you going to do now, Vlad? More from John Donison.
The money that will be generated, that will be put into this investment fund, could be used for future military assistance, future humanitarian assistance, and also reconstruction in Ukraine.
Fantastic
But they won't
news.
have to repay that debt.
Yeah, so the debt won't be repaid, but financially this could be a huge windfall for the United States. So that's reaction in Kyiv. What about at the State Department? Shannon Kingston, State Department reporter for ABC.
The big win for Ukraine here is that American businesses will now be involved in their country, and the Trump administration is saying that this is a security guarantee, basically, that this is going to keep them safe going forward, because it broadcasts to the world that the Trump administration has a vested interest in Ukrainian sovereignty.
Shannon Kingston at the State Department. All right, so I fully believe that this could be a massive game changer in the Russia-Ukraine war. All right, coming up, we're going to update our top local stories. What's to become of the North DeKalb Mall? I don't know if you've driven by it recently, but it was the old North DeKalb Mall is no more. It's been leveled. Getting news on what is going to go in there, and a really big grocery store is going to anchor that facility. I'm very excited about that. Not so excited about these big backups on 285 down around the airport. Live with the latest, it's Mike Shields.
Yeah, Mark, quickly forming with delays. Just found this on the jam cam. Crash in the center lane involving a tractor trailer, 285 northbound, the Interloop just past Camp Creek Parkway, exit 2, and brake lights quickly filling into that, and I expect maybe multiple lanes to be blocked with this to at least try to clear this to the shoulder. So be aware of that as you come up out of Union City through College Park and East Point, trying to make your way up the west side perimeter. And Crash still working in Suwannee in two right lanes, 85 northbound, Lawrenceville Suwannee Road, exit 111. That has two right lanes blocked and delays starting back before Old Peachtree Road. This report is brought by Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Learn more about their support of common threads and nutrition education at anthem.com/dream. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is the trade name of Blue Cross Blue Shield Healthcare Plan of Georgia Incorporated. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
Everyone has an opinion.
We have become an idiotic nation that doesn't know how to even debate anything, so it doesn't surprise
Eric
me.
Von Hessler has an opinion.
You will still age.
And some advice.
Start doing things when you're younger. Drink a lot of water.
Eric Von Hessler, today at 3.
And you will still die.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Dave Baker here. If the temperature inside your house doesn't fit with the temperature outside your house, you need to call Coolray Heating and Cooling. In May, you can get your HVAC system tuned up for only $79, or you can get up to $2,250 in rebates with the purchase of a complete Carrier comfort system, plus get free attic insulation. For comfort that lasts all year, visit Coolray.com to schedule your appointment today. Coolray and Carrier. Turn to the experts.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group, to discuss one of the biggest blind spots that people face when saving for retirement, and it's a head-scratcher. Chris, how do so many people not know what they're invested in?
That's the biggest flaw that everybody runs into. They think they know what equities they have, they think they know what bonds they have, but they really don't know how those mutual funds or how those index funds are performing in conjunction with one another. So, I would liken this to a big pot of soup, and we're just throwing all the ingredients in the refrigerator in this thing. It's not very good. It's just a mishmash of stuff. And sometimes you like the way it tastes. Sometimes you don't. And when you don't know why. You don't know if you got too much chicken in there or too much vegetables in there or what's going on. And I ask every caller that comes in for an initial consultation, do you know how your portfolio is broken down? And they say, well, I've got, 20 or so options in my 401k, and I just picked 2 of them or 3 of them. I thought I needed some international. I thought I needed some U.S. equities. I thought I needed some bonds. And they're just guessing. So you have to absolutely know what you're invested in, and that's where we will run the 401k portfolio x-ray for you, because that'll break it down. If you're not proficient at investing and don't understand this world, we will walk you through it. Not knowing what you're invested in is a big hindrance to growing and protecting your money. We will run a portfolio x-ray for you and educate you on exactly what's in your portfolio.
Set up a time to get your complimentary portfolio x-ray today. Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858. That's 404-737-3858, or book online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Hey, Mark Aram here for my bug and critter company, Breda Pest Management. I can't tell you how much I love these folks. Protecting the Aram household inside and out, friendly customer service. They get the job done right, and it's guaranteed. Pests, not a problem at the Aram household anymore because Breda is better at beating bugs. Just ask my wife. And you know what? They do it right, protecting the outside and inside of your home. If your current company, by the way, claims to protect your home from pests, shouldn't that include your actual home and not just your yard? It's the bugs inside your house that you want gone. And inside your home is where your current company doesn't go anymore. So if your pest control company is doing less and charging more, you need Breda Pest Management to protect the outside and inside of your home. Breda, they handle bugs and critters.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
It's Jeff Jr. from Trajan Wealth, and I've got something important to talk to you about, your 401k. If you have changed jobs, there are 2 very important considerations. You don't want to leave your 401k behind, and you don't want to roll it over into your new company plan without consulting Trajan Wealth first. 401ks will often have limited investments or age-based options. Since companies have to make choices to suit all employees, they may not be suited to you, which could cost you fees and money. When you roll over your 401k into an IRA, you not only keep your money growing tax deferred, but you also gain access to a world of investment options specifically designed for you. Trajan Wealth and our fiduciary advisors have helped thousands, and we can do the same for you. Call 404-390-4000. That's 404-390-4000.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor.
Something strange.
Who are you going to call? Ghostbusters. Happy 71st birthday, Ray Parker Jr. This is Ghostbusters. This actually hit the charts, Deborah. I think, what is it, 84 that Ghostbusters came out?
Yeah, mid-80s. Yeah.
So apparently, it was a last-minute addition to the soundtrack. They had originally had a Huey Lewis song as a placeholder for this. And then Ray Parker Jr. came up with Ghostbusters, but apparently it was too similar to a Huey Lewis song, and there was a lawsuit. Huey Lewis sued Ray Parker Jr. They settled out of court, and then Ghostbusters was allowed to have that title theme song. And they say that the song was so popular that it added 10% to the box office.
I can see that.
Worldwide. Yeah, crazy. I went down a rabbit hole on Ghostbusters the other day on the internet about originally John Belushi was going to play the character that eventually was played by Caddyshack guy. Goodness gracious, what's going on?
Bill Murray?
Bill Murray, yeah. So they wrote the script thinking Belushi was going to do that, and then it went to
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray, and there was a number, the fourth Ghostbuster. Apparently, there were a number of folks that were up for that. It was the second most popular movie in 1984 behind Beverly Hills Cop with Eddie Murphy. Anyway, it's a phenomenal movie, Ghostbusters. Happy 71st birthday to Ray Parker Jr. All right, when Longoria and I go to Golden Corral off of Lawrenceville Highway, it's right in front of the old North DeKalb Mall, which is now completely leveled. What's going to take that spot of the former North DeKalb Mall? Deborah, we've got a headline, an anchor to the new North DeKalb Mall spot.
Yeah, you'll like this. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure, they're going to be the new anchor of the North DeKalb Mall revamp. So it's being redeveloped, and not just a mall now, it's a mixed-use, like live, work, play neighborhood. But Publix is going to be the big store there. Now, if you're familiar with that area, right across the street, there's that little Shamrock Shopping Center.
Oh, yeah.
There's a Publix there.
Exactly.
That's eventually going to close, and this new one is going to be 50,000 square feet.
Ooh,
It'll have a drive-through pharmacy, so it's going to be the big deal. And I think the theater is still there, right? The movie
That's
theater?
the only thing that I think is still are they going to redo the theater? That movie.
So they're going to upgrade the theater. A Marshalls, of course, you got to have a Marshalls there, and then the rest of it is they're going to have about 1,800 residential units and a bunch of other commercial space too. Oh, and a hotel. But the number one thing is Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
A 50,000 square foot Publix. Now I'm all for it. I think that's phenomenal. Nice redevelopment there. Live, work, play. I'm just concerned it might cause traffic backups getting to the Golden Corral.
Oh, for sure.
That freaking intersection. Please fix the lights in that intersection of North Druid Hills and Lawrenceville Highway.
I know exactly what you're talking about. They're the worst.
It's so you wait there for 3 years. It's a 3-year wait when you get to that light. And people know it, so they try to run the yellows into the red, and it's a nightmare. But anyway, good update there in the North DeKalb Mall. All right, we got some new numbers released by the CDC concerning diabetes and the death rate from diabetes here in the United States. Is the rate going up or is the rate going down? Alexander Tin from CBS News is going to join us live with the numbers and the impact for you and me as we worry about diabetes as we get a little bit older. Don't forget 5K Day Bonus Blitz around 10:18. I'm going to give you a keyword in the 5K Day Bonus Blitz. Another chance for you to win $1,000 right here on 95.5 WSB.
Playing a game with your family? Fun! Playing a game with your roof, you'll lose every time. Findlay Roofing is the perfect match for your roof. The extra effort experts with upfront pricing and exceptional service. FindlayRoofing.com.
Roof. Attention men, are you suffering from ED or PE? Here's an important message from Choice Men's Health.
I'm Dr. Katz, and I'm the Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Are you performing the way you want to in the bedroom? If the answer is no, and you've tried Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra and were disappointed, then you need to come see us immediately. If you don't see results on the first visit, then there's no charge. Many of our patients have medical conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and prostate problems. I'm happy to say that we have 98% success rate with all our patients. Our customized solutions will allow you to perform within 10 minutes and last an hour and even longer. You can regain your love life and tackle your ED and PE problems. Guys, your partner will never complain again. Our clinic has the most affordable prices, so if you visit other clinics and you're not completely satisfied, then you need to call Choice Men's Health.
Regain your love life regardless of your age or medical history. Choice Men's Health guarantees results on your first visit or you pay nothing. Call now, 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170.
When everyone in the family wants something different from this year's vacation, there's only one thing to do. Plan for Pigeon Forge. From gorgeous mountain views, shows, and shopping for leisure lovers to coasters, a 200-foot swing, and hundreds more rides for adventure seekers. Plus Dollywood's epic array of fun. There's plenty of variety for the whole family, all in one place. Unique experiences, quality time, and memories for years to come. Find your personal favorites. Plan your getaway at mypigeonforge.com.
At Butler Lexus of South Atlanta, you're their priority. From personalized service to luxury amenities, they make sure you feel valued every step of the way. Buying or servicing, your experience matters. Call 800-NEW-LEXUS. Butler Lexus South Atlanta, the standard of amazing.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 9:30. I'm Judd Higginbotham. News this half hour brought to you by Dr. Roof. Our top story, heads up for all the procrastinators out there. Today, the deadline to file your taxes. Stacey Engel with the IRS says electronic filing's your best bet, especially if you owe money.
We suggest that you make as large of a payment as you can to reduce any extra penalty and interest for paying late.
Now, of course, today's May 1st. Georgia, one of several southern states that received an extension from the usual April 15th deadline. Filers here, along with Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, and the Carolinas, Atlanta's got that extra time because of federal disaster declarations made last fall due to damage from tropical weather. It is 69 degrees in Midtown Atlanta. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards says now that most of the morning rain has moved out of the metro area, look for mostly cloudy skies today. Another chance of pop-up showers this afternoon. Much better chance coming this weekend of rain. The high gets back into the low 80s today. Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast is coming up. If you plan on parking at Hartsfield-Jackson Airport, prepare to pay triple the old rate starting today.
New rates are now in effect in all of the lots at the Atlanta airport.
What you will see now, for instance, in our south and north hourly, the new rates will be $10 per hour.
Hartsfield-Jackson's Chief Revenue Officer Tyrania Smith says rates have been low for 8 years.
This will be the first increase since August of 2017.
You can check lot prices and maximums on the airport's website. Lisa Nicholas, 95.5 WSB.
Another economic report out this morning shows some troubling numbers for the U.S. The Labor Department saying initial jobless claims rose more than expected last month. It jumped about 18,000. It's about double what many analysts predicted. It comes after the Wednesday's report that the gross domestic product of the U.S. fell for the first time in almost 3 years. Correspondent Mary Bruce says President Trump continues to push back on the belief that worries about tariffs are to blame for the downturn.
It's now been 3 weeks since the president paused his sweeping so-called reciprocal tariffs to allow time to negotiate with countries, but so far no deals have been announced. The president made clear he's in no rush, suggesting Americans can wait this out a bit longer.
As for Wall Street this morning, as the bell rings and trades begin, all major indices are well up today. The Dow is up more than 100 points right now. The NASDAQ is up more than 300 points to start the day. Well, it already has a good-sized presence here in Georgia. Now Amazon is investing $4 billion to build dozens of warehouses and serve more rural areas of the U.S. by the end of next year.
It's a major expansion on an effort the company started during the pandemic with the goal of growing and relying less on other carriers. Amazon says the investment will help create another 200 delivery stations across the country and help them deliver another billion packages a year.
And Bloomberg's Monica Ricks reports Amazon says the expansion will also create more than 100,000 jobs as well. It is 9:33. Now live team coverage of traffic and weather. We start in the WSB 24-hour traffic center and Mike Shields.
Enjoy a brand new travel advisory now on the west side perimeter impacting you as you make your way near the airport. This is a tractor trailer crash that was in a center lane. Georgia State Patrol now blocking 2 left lanes. I-285 northbound, the inner loop past Camp Creek Parkway exit 2. Already slow as you leave Washington Road. So if you're coming up from Union City, think about just taking I-85 northbound as a wide way around it. You can also use Highway 29 through East Point to get around those backups. And a travel advisory continues in Suwanee with a crash in 2 right lanes. 85 northbound Lawrenceville Suwanee Road, exit 111, slow as you leave Sugarloaf Parkway. Satellite Boulevard's a great alternate. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Mostly cloudy today with scattered pop-up showers and thunderstorms, high 83. Lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with pop-up showers and storms through the afternoon, high 82. Saturday, widespread rain showers and thunderstorms, morning lows in the 60s, daytime highs in the mid-70s.
Storm Tracker radar shows those morning showers still lingering, especially on the north side of town, up around Roswell and into Cumming as well. It is 70 degrees right now in Union City, 66 in Cumming, 69 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:34. More news at 10. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Judd Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
If it's happening on the streets of Atlanta.
After suspect refuses to exit home on Summer Chase Drive.
If it's happening on the roads leading to Atlanta.
Looks to be a tanker truck crashed into the median on the JamCam.
95.5 WSB has you covered.
The major culprits are squeezing household budgets for auto insurance, gasoline, and utilities.
Your 24/7 news source. Tune in throughout the day to stay up to date.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's breaking news station.
Core GDP. Now we're removing distortions from imports.
Still to come, what President
inventories,
Trump
and
had to say
government
yesterday about the current economy. But next, new data from the CDC about diabetes death rates. We'll give you the numbers next on the Mark Arum Show.
Your home deserves to shine inside and outside. That's why I trust Wise Guys Pro Wash to keep my home and deck and driveway looking their best. So just mention me, Chris Chandler, and get $70 off your next service. Don't wait. The appointment's booked quick. Go to wiseguysprowash.com.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
We've all got one, and there's never just one thing on it. Your home improvement to-do list. Trust the Plus. Painting Plus. The Plus covers everything on your list. Siding, gutters, windows, decks, porches, roofing, and of course, painting.
Hi, I'm Charlie, the owner of Painting Plus. We do it all, and we do it right. Trust the Plus family of businesses for everything on your list.
If your home's exterior has it, the Plus can improve it. Painting Plus. Siding, gutters, windows, decks, porches, roofing, and more. Trust the Plus. PaintingPlus.com.
Termites could be eating your home right now, and you never know it. Scott Slade here for Breda Pest Management. When was the last time you actually saw your service inspect for termite damage? Well, let me guess. They just walked around outside and checked bait stations. Better get Breda. They use advanced infrared cameras and microwave technology for early detection. Switch to Breda, and your termite rate is locked in for 10 years.
Breda, Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
9:37 on a very calm and peaceful Thursday in Atlanta. Welcome back. Mark Aram and crew with you till noon. 30 minutes from now, State Senator Jason Estevez is going to join us live. He is running for governor here in the state of Georgia. 10:18-ish. I'm going to give you a keyword of the 5K day bonus blitz. Chance for you to win $1,000 right here on 95.5 WSB. Got some data yesterday from Atlanta's own CDC regarding diabetes death rates. Covering the story, joining us live from CBS News, Alexander Tin. Alexander, good morning. As always, thanks for your time.
Morning. Thanks for having me on.
I don't want to bury the headline. Good news from the CDC when it comes to diabetes death rates.
Yeah, that's right. You know, we saw the diabetes death rates in the third quarter of last year. That's the new data that's now out. Fall to 26.4 deaths per 100,000 people. 26.4, to put that in context, that's down from 31.1 deaths per 100,000 people back in 2021. And that was at the height of a surge of diabetes deaths that peaked during the COVID pandemic.
Interesting. And that's 26.4 deaths per 100,000 U.S. citizens, not 100,000 people that have diabetes.
Right. That's right. The denominator there is just people.
Gotcha. That's still a big. That's still a big number then, but it is dropping precipitously, which is great. Does the CDC point to a reason or reasons for the drop in the death rate?
Yeah, I mean, look, when you zoom out, we knew that diabetes death rates had been falling, had been improving essentially, going up until the COVID pandemic. And then we saw a big increase. There were more than 100,000 people who died of diabetes during 2021 at the height of the pandemic. A big reason for that is obviously, number one, the link between the virus and diabetes itself. We know that having diabetes often raises the risk of complications from the virus that increases the risk of diabetes deaths. But also we know that there were other ripple effects that the CDC has cited, for example, interruptions to routine medical care that connected people to diagnosis and treatment for diabetes as well.
Interesting. And what about the I call them the weight loss drugs, right? The GLPs, but they were originally diagnosed or prescribed as diabetes drugs. And so many Americans are now taking them. Is that bringing the death rate number down as well?
Yeah, I mean, look, to be clear, the death rate was already improving before COVID-19. And really, it was COVID-19 that caused this maybe momentary blip where the diabetes deaths really increased a lot. The other thing that is important to note is, yes, it's true that the diabetes drugs were launched in recent years, and we're now starting to see that overlap between the death figures and when those drugs were launched. But this death rate, while it's a significant improvement compared to 2021, is still worse than it was before the COVID pandemic.
Interesting. Now, just generally speaking, and never mind the death rates, Alexander, how prevalent is diabetes in the U.S. right now?
Yeah, the figures have been tracking a steady rise in diabetes, mainly from type 2 diabetes. We know that the overall rate of diagnosed diabetes is now nearly 1 in 10 adults in the United States.
1 in 10.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a significant number. All right, so aside from the COVID blip, numbers are coming down. Do the experts think that this trend is going to continue to fall?
Yeah, I mean, look, there are a lot of signs that the trend is continuing to fall. We know that diabetes mortality, for a lot of reasons, including those new diabetes drugs you mentioned, is probably going to continue heading in this direction. But again, it's important to note, we're still looking at preliminary figures, so we don't have the final figures yet, but there were more than 90,000 diabetes deaths in 2024 reported so far in death certificates to the CDC. And again, that's above the around 80-ish thousand we were seeing before the COVID pandemic. So definitely signs of an improvement, a continued sign of improvement, but we're far from reaching where we were before COVID.
Interesting. All right, Alexander Tidd, as always, appreciate your time, buddy.
Thank you.
There you go. By the way, diabetes is the 8th leading cause of death in the United States. 9th is accidents by fireworks. No, I'm making that up. But I do want to talk about fireworks in regard to the tariffs. I've been personally, worried about coffee and deodorant and stuff. I didn't realize, Deborah, that fireworks, I guess they're not made in the U.S., so now they're subject to additional tariffs and it might be more expensive this 4th of July?
Yeah, China is the world's biggest manufacturer of fireworks. And of course, they've got that 145% tariff going on right now. So this will affect, not only the roadside stalls that you buy your Roman candles and sparklers from, but think of the big celebratory displays that we have. Graduations, Memorial Day is around the corner, 4th of July this summer. And it might not really change things this year, but everyone's looking at next year because that's when America turns 250, and it's going to be a year-long celebration for the country.
I didn't even think of the big seller. Like they're going to have one right before the Peachtree Road Race on July 3rd. Mm-hmm. We had the head of the track club in here saying they're going to have a big fireworks. I didn't realize that the fireworks, the majority of them come from Mexico. I remember the first time I went to one of those big fireworks outlets. I was driving down to Florida for spring break, and I think it was in North Carolina or South Carolina, one of the Carolinas, and we stopped at one of these because they were illegal in New York and Connecticut, and we bought, I don't know, enough M80s that the ATF should have been on the ATF's radar. We got so many of them. It was insane. All right, so there you go. But this 4th of July, we should be okay. It's forward 4th of July's as the tariffs kick in with the reciprocal tariffs with China. All right, joining us on the show now, this is exciting, the Chief Tournament Officer for the FIFA World Cup, Manola Zubiria. Manola, good morning. Thanks for your time.
Hi, Mark. Good morning. Well, as you said, we love Atlanta. As you can say, 2 major events coming in Atlanta, back-to-back summers. And this one's exciting because this one's the first ever inaugural edition of the FIFA Club World Cup. The first time ever that 32 clubs will compete to be crowned as the world champion, the best club in the world. These clubs have been competing over the last 4 years to qualify. Some have won their Confederations Championships and some have qualified at the ranking system. And now they'll get an opportunity to measure against each other with some of the best clubs coming to the United States and really, really good teams coming to Atlanta.
I love this idea, by the way, and it's so exciting. This is the first time ever that we are going to get to see these amazing clubs play each other here in Atlanta, starting off on June 16th. I got to ask, Manolo, how come it took so long to come up with this idea? It sounds so great.
Well, we would be here all day if I had to tell you all the history behind it and who you need to convince. But yeah, there's a lot of things, a lot of boxes to check off to be able to put on a competition of this magnitude, to bring in clubs from around the world, who are busy in their leagues, and to find the right time in the calendar to make this happen within 30 days of action-packed, 63 matches. Some of these clubs are the best in the world, have the best players in the world, and they play all year round in their own leagues, in their own club competition. So it's been great to finally put it together. It's been something that FIFA has been trying to do over the last 5 years, and now it's finally happened, and we're only 45 days away, believe it or not.
I didn't even think about logistically trying to get the schedule set for all of those, but thankfully it's happening. It's happening here in Atlanta. Atlanta's going to host 6 matches, June 15th to July 13th at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, which is for the folks that have been watching Atlanta United. You know how much excitement is in that amazing venue for the games, the matches. And then we look forward to next year, and it's the regular World Cup. What can we expect in Atlanta? I'm assuming we're going to have visitors from all over the world coming here.
Oh, yes. I mean, you bet. And Atlanta, has incredible matches also for next year's World Cup, the same as, now for the Club World Cup. And having a quarterfinal in Atlanta and the run of 16 matches, you're guaranteed to see the best clubs trying to get to that semifinal. And, with the World Cup next year, Atlanta with a semifinal, it's going to be exciting because Atlanta fans will have 2 incredible summers of football or soccer with some of the best clubs and then some of the best national teams. And who knows, maybe some of those players come in for the Club World Cup will get an opportunity to see the stadium and play in the stadium where maybe they will dream of playing the semifinal just a year later.
Manola Zubiria, Chief Tournament Officer, FIFA World Cup, joining us here on the Mark Arum Show. The World Cup is the biggest sporting event in the world, right? This is going to be watched by billions of people. If a successful entry here from Atlanta in 2026, could that lead to more FIFA World Cup matches coming back to Atlanta?
Yes. I mean, it's you said it. The stadium, how can you not go to Atlanta for, with such a stadium, but also the fan base who loves football. They show, we're a local team and all the games that have come through Atlanta over the years. What I can tell you, Mark, is that these games will be different, especially for the Club World Cup compared to some of the summer-friendly tours that come by. These games mean a lot to these players and to these clubs. It's very different how you approach a summer-friendly, preseason preparation match. And sometimes the lineups that you see, sometimes it's a mix of younger players and the bigger names are maybe still getting ready for the long season. Now they're coming to compete. They want to take that prize. There's a lot of prize money at stake and just a lot of bragging rights to say that you're the best club in the world.
Indeed, and it's a world passion. The greatest footballers will be here in Atlanta. FIFA World Cup in 2026, but coming up, as you mentioned, this summer, the new FIFA World Cup tournament, which is phenomenal, I just can't wait to see that. What an exciting idea. Manola, final question. Are we going to see you here in Atlanta for either of these 2 huge football events?
Oh, you bet. I'll definitely make my way over. I've been there multiple times, obviously meetings, inspections, but now I'm looking forward to see some of these games. I'll try to make my way around all 11 cities, 12 stadiums, and spread my summer across those 63 matches, and Atlanta will definitely be one of my stops, considering we have these great matches this summer, but also next year.
Wow, what an exciting summer for you and us here in Atlanta. When you come to Atlanta, dinner's on me, okay?
All right, I'll take you up on it, Mark.
All right. Thank you so much, Manola.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you.
Manola Zubiria, Chief Tournament Officer, FIFA World Cup. He's big in the football, soccer community. Deborah, I had never heard of the FIFA Club World Cup 2025. That sounds phenomenal. Like all the best club teams coming here to play in a tournament?
Yeah, it's some of the bigger, more popular clubs, and it's great because there is a big. I'm sorry.
Man City, Chelsea.
Man City is my family is a Man City supporter, so they'll be here in June. So that's probably the match that we would go to. But yeah, there's big clubs like Chelsea's big, Inter Milan. Of course, everyone knows Inter Milan now with Messi and everything. So they're big names.
That's kind of big. What are the odds that the average Joe can get tickets to these? Are these already sold out? These events?
No, these are on. I think the ones that are happening this year, obviously, you can still get tickets to. Now, World Cup next year, I've already been on a waiting list for that.
Gosh, that's huge. I wish I was. I go to Atlanta United matches with Sanjay. I have a great time. I just don't have the passion. Maybe this will spur on the passion. When we come back, a couple of travel stories for you. Increase rates for parking at Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson. And what's the one item on a plane you do not want to ask the flight attendant for? We'll tell you after we check traffic. Travel advisory on 285 still, Mike Shields.
And right now, a red alert as they're holding all lanes to try to get several of these tractor trailers involved in this crash to the right shoulder. I-285 northbound, the interloop just past Camp Creek Parkway, exit 2. Live look at the jam cam. They are actively moving these tractor trailers. They're driving themselves to the shoulder, so hopefully going to be a short-term closure, but damage done. Already slow back before Washington Road. If you're coming up from Union City, take I-85 northbound or Highway 29 as alternates. This report is brought to you by VyStar Credit Union. No matter where life takes you, VyStar Credit Union is there. With banking for every moment, big and small, they give back to the greater Atlanta area because they truly care. VyStar Credit Union, do good, bank better. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
On air,
online,
on the app,
where you get your news,
is where you'll win.
Download the WSB radio app now and maybe win $1,000.
The WSB 5K Day Bonus Blitz.
5 words, 5 times a day, every weekday.
God, you just made my day.
Just enter the word at WSBRadio.com or on the WSB Radio app.
Your next chance to win is coming up at 10
The WSB 5K a Day Bonus Blitz.
on 95.5 WSB.
Welcome to Window Wisdom with North Georgia Replacement Windows. Today we're talking with window and door experts Ted Kirk and Jonathan Cullum, owners of North Georgia Replacement Windows. Ted, can you explain how the Infinity fiberglass windows can give us more daylight and bigger views in our home?
Because our Infinity Ultrex fiberglass is so strong, the frames of our windows are thinner, which gives you more daylight and bigger views. Our windows are not big and bulky like other replacement windows.
What if someone wants a window where there isn't one already?
Fortunately, we're licensed general contractors, and we can help with that. Our windows come in both a new construction and replacement option, so we're always guaranteed to have the perfect fit for your home.
How do the Infinity fiberglass windows measure up when it comes to energy efficiency?
Infinity windows have super energy efficient glass that will lower your energy bills and protect your floors, window treatments, and home furnishings from fading out from the damaging sun's UV rays.
Jonathan, anything else you'd like to add?
Just remember, if you're replacing your old windows that are leaking or rotting, choose Infinity from Marvin fiberglass windows or you're giving up both daylight and views. And not only are our fiberglass windows more durable, they are truly beautiful windows.
Thank you, Ted and Jonathan, for helping to simplify the window shopping process. If you're interested in the Infinity from Marvin fiberglass windows and getting more daylight and bigger views from your replacement project, check out the special savings and payment plans at ngwindows.com under the special section, saving you money and making it easier to put the very best windows and doors in your home. To schedule your free consultation, visit them online at ngwindows.com. Check out this month's special offers with huge discounts and flexible payment plans. Log on to ngwindows.com and click on the special offers tab. That's ngwindows.com.
Infinity from Marvin, replacement windows, yeah!
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-2798. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-2798. That's 800-575-2798.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to Big Wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get your second month free for a limited time. You'll get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month. Here's Veronica and Jackie, real customers.
I didn't know that I could get something for a lot less money that was actually better than who I was with before.
Anytime anybody complains about their cell phone bill, we say, you've got to check out Consumer Cellular.
And now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free when they use promo code SECONDFREE. Just call, click, or bring us your bill and see how much you can save. Because when it comes to Big Wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and use code SECONDFREE to get a free second month. Real people pay to share their opinions in this ad. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
I went skydiving, I went Rocky Mountain.
Happy 58th birthday, Tim McGraw. 58 years old today. This is Live Like You Were Dying, a tribute to his father, former Major League Baseball pitcher Tug McGraw, who I grew up watching. Happy birthday, Tim McGraw. All right, Deborah, a couple of travel stories. First and foremost, folks heading to Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson Airport going to see a price increase when it comes to parking spots. How big of an increase are we talking about here?
All right, they're all a little bit different, but basically it went from $3 an hour up to $10 an hour. And then after that, depending on where you park, it's a little different by a couple bucks. But basically there it goes from a maximum of 36 hours a day to $50 a day. And then if you're in the international one, that goes up to $100 daily. So I recommend taking MARTA.
Now, what about Park and Ride? I use the Park and Ride lot, and it's usually, I think it's been like $10 a day.
So Park and Ride's not that bad. So Park and Ride, same thing. It went from $3 to a maximum of $10. Now it's a maximum of $15. In international Park and Ride, it's going to be a maximum of $30.
All right, that's not too bad. And that's the first price increase in like 8 years, right?
Yeah.
So, all right, Park and Ride. Again, I'm not going to bring up a bad memory, but there was one time where Park and Ride was we almost missed our flight because the buses, the shuttles that run, something happened, and there was like 150 people waiting for the little shuttle vans to come. But that is my go-to on Park and Ride. I think Longoria, you park off campus, right? Don't you go to?
Yeah, I do. Like I think it's called Park and Fly
on Camp Creek Parkway.
Yeah.
All right, one more travel-related story. This shocked me. The one item you should not ask the flight attendant for on a plane is what, Deborah?
Well, if you're always a little cold, you might want to grab one of those blankets, but rethink it because the attendants say they are loaded with germs and they've seen passengers use them to clean up spills, wipe their noses, gather toenail clippings. And if they're not in a bag, like a sealed bag, then they haven't been washed at all. They've just been refolded and reused and you don't know what's on that blanket.
All right, but the ones in the sealed bag that I get on Delta, those are okay.
The ones in the sealed bags, they're saying those have been washed and they're okay. But any other blanket, you just don't know what you're getting.
You don't want to be raw dogging an unwrapped blanket. So
toenail clippings.
So I got really scared because I will often use that blanket that comes in the sealed plastic bag from Delta. They're comfy, they're great. I might have taken a couple of them off the plane. I don't know if that's against the law or not. But all right, I feel better now. So the skanky, raw dogged, unwrapped blankets, don't
touch them.
That makes sense. I don't think I would have. I think I would have, known in advance. Like, where did you get that blanket? Toenail clippings.
Who's clipping their toes on the plane?
I don't know. You should lose flight. Gross. You should be on the the no fly list.
Yeah.
If you get caught clipping your toenails, never mind terrorism or anything like that. You're clipping your toenails on a commercial flight. You're on the no fly list. All right. Sealed blankets only when you're flying the friendly skies. All right, Sabrina's got your news, weather, and traffic. Really good news on the markets. Apparently the markets are in favor of this rare earth mineral deals. We'll update that. And when we come back, this is exciting. The first Democratic candidate to announce that they are going to run for governor joins us live next. State Senator Jason Estevez, why he decided to run and what he thinks his odds are. He joins us live next on The Mark Arum Show.
WSB Atlanta, WSB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
Hope. It's more than a word. It's a breakthrough in the making. At City of Hope, we're pushing the boundaries of science, targeting cancer at the molecular level, with teams of experts working together to personalize a treatment plan right down to your DNA with unprecedented speed, making every second count, with appointments in as little as 24 hours. City of Hope, advancing cancer care at life-saving speed. Learn more at cityofhope.org.
History had the gold rush, then came the oil boom, then the tech boom, but right now, it's the Wi-Fi boom, and Xfinity Wi-Fi is booming. Hey, it's Mark Arum back with you. Streaming, booming. Gaming, booming. Video calls, booming. Even when your boss schedules a meeting, that definitely could have been an email. And now you can get Xfinity Internet and mobile together all in one plan. It's the ultimate power couple. Wi-Fi Power Boost from Xfinity Mobile gives you faster, secure Wi-Fi speeds at home and on the go, so your Wi-Fi is booming wherever you are. Now through June 23rd, new customers can get 400 megabit Xfinity Internet with free equipment and unlimited internet data, and get one unlimited 5G mobile line included, all in one plan, all for $40 a month for 1 year. Visit Xfinity.com to learn more. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes, fees, extra. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet. Reduced speeds after 30 gigs of data usage. Data thresholds vary after 1 year. Rate increases to $110 a month. After 2 years, regular rates apply to all services up to $143 a month. Actual speeds vary.
Mom and Dad seem different after a European-style holiday on MSC Cruises.
Carlos,
cloud, and event.
The ship had restaurants, shops, and nightlife.
La Galleria.
And of course, American touches like an aqua park and a sweets shop.
American je ne sais quoi.
Mom, you're from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, Kevin.
Book now and save up to 30% off, plus kids sale free. MSC Cruises. Let's holiday. To book, visit msccruises.com or contact your travel advisor. Restrictions apply. Ships registered in Panama and Malta.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Here, good morning. It is 10 o'clock. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by TE Certified Electrical Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Let's start with you and your password. You think it's strong enough? Well, correspondent Michael Wallace this morning has the results of a new study that may have you changing that password later today.
The cybersecurity firm Hive Systems has timed how long it takes the average hacker to crack your password. If it's only 4 characters long, it takes less than a second. A password with 5 characters using numbers and upper and lowercase letters would take a hacker 2 hours to figure out. A combination of 8 random characters, including numbers and symbols, would take 164 years to crack. Use a 12-character password, the average hacker would need 3 billion years to get it.
All right, so the latest stats show Georgia is among the top 10 states when it comes to cybercrime. Your weather for today, it's going to be mostly cloudy. Some scattered pop-up showers and storms are possible. Afternoon highs around 83, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast that's coming your way in just about 2 minutes. It's now going to cost you more to park down at the airport. The first rate increase for parking since 2017 in effect starting today. The pricing depends on where you park. For example, parking in the south, north hourly lots has now increased from $3 to $10 an hour, but signs have been changed at those lots indexed to reflect the new pricing structure down at Hartsfield-Jackson International. Now let's head over to Johns Creek. Police there on the lookout for a man seen on surveillance video trying to break into cars. This is in the Aberley Township neighborhood near State Bridge Road. The person's wearing a hoodie and a mask. He walks into driveways, checks to see if vehicles are unlocked. The person has broken into 2 cars so far and attempted to break into others, according to police. Residents being urged to make sure that your vehicles are locked and don't leave anything of value in your car or truck. At the Spalding County trial of 2 parents accused of child abuse, some witnesses are fighting back tears, describing the emaciated little boy and his living conditions.
The day he was found, Krista and Tyler Schindley's hungry 10-year-old son was wearing clothes for a 5-year-old, and a Griffin policewoman testifies those swallowed him. Witnesses recall he ate whatever they gave him, and when he stopped eating, panicked if they moved to take the food away. He even pleaded to keep a crumb-filled napkin in hand. Jurors saw photos of his bruises and scars in various healing stages and of his barren, unlit bedroom and bathroom with no furniture, toiletries, or access to hot water, starkly different from those of his siblings filled with decor, toys, and clothes. Veronica Waters, 95.5 WSB.
All right, thank you, Veronica. The maternal mortality rate here in the United States is up slightly. That, according to the Atlanta-based CDC, they say 688 people died last year during pregnancy or shortly after giving birth, and that's up slightly from 2023, but down from 2022 and 21 when it was the highest level in more than 50 years. Excessive bleeding, blood vessel blockages, and infections among the leading causes. The U.S. has one of the highest maternal mortality rates among wealthy nations. Past research has also found that wide racial disparities with black women dying at a far higher rate than white women. Later today, the city of Snellville is going to be breaking ground on a new $13 million community center.
It'll have 2 full-size indoor basketball courts, the upper indoor walking track. It'll have 3 other activity rooms.
That's Snellville Mayor Barbara Bender. She says the center will be built among the 80 acres at Briscoe Park on Lenora Church Road. Construction starts on Monday, and it should be open for use late next year. And new job numbers are out this morning from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Jim Ryan has a look.
2 weeks ago, 223,000 out-of-work Americans filed their initial claims for jobless benefits. Economists were anticipating a slight decline last week. Instead, the number has surged by 18,000, the biggest jump in months. All told, 1.9 million Americans are receiving unemployment insurance.
As we take a look at the markets, we're in the green. The Dow's up 205 at 40,874, so the Dow's up 0.5%. NASDAQ's up more than 1.5%, and the S&P's up almost a full percent. Time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. We say good morning to Ashley Frasca in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Hey there, Sabrina. Good morning to you. I thought things were going to improve up from the southwest perimeter. However, that's not the case. An earlier truck crash has cleared to the shoulder, 285 northbound past Camp Camp Creek Parkway, but everything keeping you slow because of now a stalled tractor trailer that's in the right lane, 285 north, just before the exit to Camp Creek. So you're on the brakes headed up from I-85. Speaking of 85, northbound ride into Suwanee improving. That crash at 317 has cleared. 85 south still a little bit sluggish down from 316 headed out of Duluth. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Mostly cloudy today with scattered pop-up showers and thunderstorms, high 83, lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with scattered rain showers and thunderstorms through the afternoon, high 82. Widespread rain and a few thunderstorms on Saturday, highs in the mid-70s.
All right, we have 70 degrees in Brookhaven, 69 in Holly Springs. In Dallas, you have 71 degrees. We'll have more news at 10:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome back to the show and a good Thursday morning to you. Mark Aram here, you there. It's 10:05, 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. This is the Mark Aram Show live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon on 95.5 WSB. The whole family with us today. Deborah's the executive producer. Longoria, the stoic Eskimo on the other side of the takeout window. Vinny Drip screens your calls. Coming up in 12 minutes, I'm going to give you a keyword in the 5K a day bonus blitz. Another chance for you to win $1,000 here on 95.5 WSB. Still to come on the show, Stephen Portnoy from ABC updating the latest on the Abrego Garcia case. Steve Dennis from Bloomberg News joins us at 11:05 talking all things markets. But very happy to have joining us live on the show State Senator Jason Estevez. Senator, good morning. Thanks for your time and congratulations.
Hey, Mark, thank you so much for having me on.
For folks that don't know, you threw your hat in the ring. You will be running for governor of the state of Georgia for the Democratic Party. When did you decide to run, and why are you running?
Well, look, Mark, I think I don't need to explain to your listeners that Georgians are struggling. They're struggling with what's happening nationally. They're struggling with the high cost of living here in this state. And I'm someone that believes that Georgia can do better. And I decided to run because we need someone who has lived through many of the challenges that Georgians face each and every day and is working every day and has worked throughout my career to do something about it. And I know that many of your listeners don't know too much about me, but I'm someone who grew up in Columbus, Georgia. So I'm from Southwest Georgia, and I was raised by two parents who didn't go to college and oftentimes had to work 2 to 3 jobs each just to make ends meet for my sister and I. And they taught me the value of hard work and giving back to your community. And I took those values with me into the classroom. After college, I taught 150 middle schoolers social studies. And when I was in the classroom, Mark, I saw kids who were no different than any of us. They were just as smart. They were just as willing to work hard. But because of where they lived, they didn't have the same kinds of opportunities. And I felt like that was inherently wrong. And since those days in the classroom, I've worked throughout my career, whether it's been as a lawyer, as a school board member and school board chair, whether it's been as a state senator or small business owner, to give Georgians a fair shot. And given where we are in this moment, we need a governor that's going to cut through all the chaos and the noise and make sure that regardless of where you live in this state, that you have the opportunity to thrive and that your children have more opportunities than what you have.
What was the conversation like with your family when you said, all right, I'm going to do this? I'm assuming you talked to your wife and your family and said, and bounced the idea off of them.
Yeah, so I have 2 beautiful children, 9-year-old Jaden and 6-year-old Zoe. And, of course, my wife, Ariel. She's from Albany. Look, my wife is someone who is a public servant herself. She's a nurse practitioner, a medical provider, and we own an urgent care in Northwest Atlanta. So she loves to serve the community. And when I initially broached the idea with her, she was all for it. And she continues to be because she has seen firsthand that when you have a healthcare system in this state where over 500,000 people don't have health insurance, that everyone struggles, that everyone is impacted by that, not just those who are struggling to receive care. She also has seen firsthand the impacts of our senior care system. Mark, my mom is someone who has late-stage Alzheimer's, and I've been her caregiver for several years, and my wife and I have had to deal with that. And we have seen, even with 2 people who are well-connected and very knowledgeable about how the system works. We've struggled to navigate it to get the care for my mom. And I often question, what do people do when they don't have the resources that we have and the knowledge and the connections that we have? How do they navigate the senior care system? So my wife knows all of the challenges that this state has to go into the future. And we're ready and excited to take this challenge on together to make sure that Georgia's future is bright and better for all of us.
State Senator Jason Estevez joining us live on the Mark Arum Show, running for governor. When the announcement popped, Senator, I know your background locally, Atlanta Board of Ed, representing the 6th District. And the first thing that popped in my mind is, does someone in Valdosta know who Jason Estevez is? Is that your biggest hurdle, a statewide name recognition? And what are you going to do to combat that?
Yeah, well, look, that's always going to be a hurdle. But what I remind people is that if you look at statewide races, especially gubernatorial and U.S. Senate races in the past couple decades, the candidates who have been lesser known are the ones that do the best. Whether that's on the Democratic side, Stacey Abrams in 2017. Stacey was very well known in political circles. She had done amazing things as minority leader. But if you talk to the random person in Valdosta, they probably didn't know who she was. But she did the work and traveled the state, and she became better known, and her vision was spread throughout the state. When you look at Warnock and Senator Ossoff, they were also not well known throughout the state, but they did the work. And you don't have to look too far on the other side. Brian Kemp, when he first ran, everyone thought Casey Cagle, who was a much bigger name, was going to win. But giving Governor Kemp that credit, he did the work and got across the finish line. So what Georgians want at this time is they want someone who's going to do the work, who's going to put the politics aside, cut through the chaos, and deliver solutions.
By
declaring,
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Jason.
go ahead.
By declaring early, that gives you more time to have the voters get more familiar with you. Was that part of the decision to enter, the first, true candidate to enter the race?
Yeah, we're going to have to work this state, travel the state, and I think the most important thing, Mark, is we're going to be listening to voters. At this point, I think people are tired of being spoken to by both parties, and they want someone who's going to be willing to listen.
You mentioned Stacey Abrams. There's rumors that she might run again. If she announces her candidacy, does that impact your candidacy at all?
No, I'm focused on my race. I'm focused on talking to Georgians about the issues that are impacting them and making sure that we're presenting solutions and how we can work together to build a coalition that can not only win the primary, but can win the general election come November of 2026.
Listeners to this station know, and viewers of any TV station in Atlanta, listeners to any radio station of Atlanta, knows how much political spending goes on here in Georgia, the battleground state. This next coming election will be a midterm election, so there's no presidential ballot that will be cast. But are you expecting, if you are the nominee, a lot of, fundraising from the Democratic National Committee, the party, to come in here and spend a lot of money to get you to the governor's mansion?
Absolutely. Unfortunately, when you're in a battleground state and when you're in politics, fundraising and raising money is something that you have to do. And when I'm the nominee, I know that we're going to have to raise a lot of money. I think one thing that Democrats in particular have to ensure that we invest in is boots on the ground and grassroots organizing. I think that's when Democrats do the best. And that's certainly what I plan on doing across this state, is not only investing in those pesky commercials that we all get tired of by the time November rolls around, but making sure that we're reaching and meeting voters where they are. That means not only radio and on social media, but knocking on doors and talking to voters about the issues that they care about, where they worship, where they work, and where they live. And that's going to take a lot of resources on the ground throughout the state.
Another possible Democratic candidate that's been floated out, Keisha Lance Bottoms. Do you have a relationship with the former Atlanta mayor? And if you two are in the Democratic primary together, will we expect it to stay civil? Will it get a little nasty? What's your relationship with the former mayor?
Well, look, I know the former mayor, and I wish her well. But at the end of the day, Georgians are going to decide this election, both in the primary and in the general. So what I'm going to do is focus on the race that I'm running, make sure that people know my background, know what I'm about, and making sure that I'm giving people something to vote for. For too long, Mark, we have been telling voters to vote against something, and there is plenty to vote against, trust me. But we have to talk to people about the vision that we have for the future. And I'm one that wants a future for Georgia where we're keeping and growing the hard-earned money that's in your pockets, and then we're making sure that you have opportunities regardless of where you're from. And I have a plan, and we'll be listening to folks about how we can improve that plan to make sure that we get there.
State Senator Jason Estevez joining us live on the Mark Arum Show. Endorsements going to be important for your campaign, and if so, have you lined any up yet?
Well, look, endorsements always help, but there's nothing better than talking to voters directly. Endorsements will only go so far. I don't think that they will ultimately make a difference. If you look at past races, endorsements didn't make too much of a difference. But what I will be doing is making sure that whether it's those folks who give endorsements or that are elected or well-known, or those Georgians that just want to give their personal endorsement to people that they go to church with or the people they work with. I want to make sure that they're clear about who Jason Estevez is and what he stands for. And that's making sure that we have a Georgia where, regardless of who you are, you have the opportunity to thrive. Someone who has worked his entire life to give Georgians a fair shot, and someone who will continue to do that as governor.
Final and least important question of the interview, State Senator. You've been working under the Gold Dome. Let's say I text you and say, hey, we're going to grab some lunch, somewhere around the state capitol. Where are we going for lunch?
Man, I would have to say I'm a big fan of barbecue.
Okay.
So whether it's Woodchapel or Fox Brothers or
I think you just want some votes.
Barbecue. There's all kinds of options around the Capitol, but I'm going for some barbecue.
I think you just want some votes there. State Senator, really appreciate your time. Best of luck. Folks want more information about your campaign, social media, websites. Where can we find you?
Go to jasonestevez.com or at Jason Estevez on all of my social media.
All right, Senator, I really appreciate your time. Best of luck.
Thank you so much for having me.
There you go. State Senator Justin Estevez, first official Democratic candidate for governor, the governorship, who's going to replace Governor Brian Kemp here. And this is an open forum, Republican, Democrat, Independent. If you are running for governor, we would love to have you on the show. Just go to markarum.com and hook it up. Deborah will take care of that. Oh, we got to give away some money. Holy smokes, I almost forgot. I don't know if State Senator Estevez is eligible since he was just on the show, but he might be. 5K Day Bonus Blitz. Let's go, friends. 10 a.m. keyword is TOUR, T-O-U-R, TOUR. Enter the keyword TOUR into the WSB Radio app or at WSBRadio.com/cash. You have until 10:30 a.m. to enter the keyword, win $1,000. The keyword is TOUR, T-O-U-R. And don't forget, if you get a phone call after 10:30 from a number you don't recognize, pick it up. Could be us telling you you won $1,000. 10 a.m. keyword is TOUR, T-O-U-R, TOUR. Good luck. Good luck on them roadways. Live with the latest, here's Ashley Frasca.
Maybe some construction vehicles that have broken down. Hero on the scene with the trouble nonetheless on 85 South at Pleasant Hill. They're blocking that far right lane, so you're still on the brakes starting below Duluth Highway 120, trying to get down into the Norcross area. And delays remain through the heart of the city on the downtown connectors. You travel 75, 85 northbound. The worst of it trying to get up past I-20. Traffic brought to you by Dairy Queen. Get big summer flavor in every bite with a new DQ Summer Blizzard Treat menu featuring new mixing bowl mashups, s'mores, and more. Available now. DQ. Happy, taste good at participating locations. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
The morning rush hour, the evening rush hour, and everything in between.
Slow spots are starting to build up the east side perimeter on 285 North.
Tune in 24/7 with the Triple Team Traffic Center.
We've had several breakdowns, including one in the express lane.
Your source for Atlanta's traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Protect your turf from termites. Call Breda Pest Management. They handle bugs and critters. And Breda's proud to sponsor Scott Slade's Georgia every Thursday on Atlanta's Morning News.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
When everyone in the family wants something different from this year's vacation, there's only one thing to do. Plan for Pigeon Forge. From gorgeous mountain views, shows, and shopping for leisure lovers to coasters, a 200-foot swing, and hundreds more rides for adventure seekers. Plus Dollywood's epic array of fun. There's plenty of variety for the whole family, all in one place. Unique experiences, quality time, and memories for years to come. Find your personal favorites. Plan your getaway at mypigeonforge.com.
At Shane Company, we know getting engaged is a big decision. But once you know, you know. That's the way our customers feel when they choose a Shane Company engagement ring. They walk into a warm welcome and walk out with their dream ring, knowing they got it right. For almost 100 years, we've been offering personalized shopping experiences. And we're in it way past the honeymoon, with a free lifetime warranty that includes the center stone, cleanings, repairs, and resizing for life. Shop with us at shaneco.com or at your neighborhood store. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Sell your home and get paid twice? Orchard makes it happen. Get cash up front to buy now, then more when your old place sells for top dollar. Go to Orchard.com or call 1-844-421-SELL.
Hey, you exhausted every day? Maybe you have the 3 p.m. crash or struggling with memory issues, having a hard time focusing. You have to stop and pay attention to what I'm about to tell you. I never run out of energy, and I'm fully focused. Strong Cell. It's a revolutionary supplement that has truly changed my life. I use it every single day. It gives you natural energy, helps me stay focused all day long, and just makes me feel better overall. Whether you're a working mom or dad or homeschooling your kids or some of our loyal men and women behind the wheel across the country, try Strong Cell. It'll change your life. Linda uses it as well.
I use it every single day. I have my kids using it, my parents using it, my in-laws using it, my friends using it, and I am telling you, it is immediate. It is one of the only ways you can get NADH on the market, and it works.
Go to HannityStrong.com. Use the promo code Hannity. You get a special 20% off any order. Once again, HannityStrong.com. And Strong Cell believes in their products so much, you get a 60-day no-risk policy. Invest in your health. I did it. It changed my life.
This is Window Nation, your source for affordable replacement windows at the highest quality. So if you've got old, drafty, sticking, or leaking windows, you need the experienced pros at Window Nation. You can pay a lot less and still get the premium windows you're dreaming of. Their custom windows are guaranteed to be a perfect fit, and they're backed by the best warranty in the industry. Go to GetWindowNation.com for your free estimate. And for a limited time, buy 4 windows, get 4 free, plus no interest for 2 years.
Is your financial advisor offering you up to a 30% upfront bonus? Are they promising you up to 10% growth per year guaranteed for your retirement income? If not, you need a new financial advisor. I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. If you plan to retire within the next 10 years, don't wait only to find out it's too late. I've seen hard-working folks like you retire only to be required to go back to work, all because their advisor told them guarantees like these were too good to be true. They're not. That's up to $30,000 up front or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't work when you're supposed to be retired. And if any financial advisor tells you it's too good to be true, they simply don't have the options we do. Call Trajan today at 404-390-4000.
Annuity guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company.
Hey, it's Shelley Winter here from my good friends at PalmettoSleep.com. Let's talk about a serious business, sleep apnea. I suffer from it, and whether you've been diagnosed with it or afraid you have it, I have the solution. Palmetto Sleep is here to give you your life back. They make it easy to get help for sleep apnea because living without a good night's sleep is simply no way to live. Palmetto Sleep offers a custom-fitted oral appliance that opens your airway so you naturally breathe the way nature intended. The best part is they offer virtual consultations and in-home sleep testing. No overnight stays at a sleep center. Plus, Palmetto Sleep has all the doctors that you will need. Most appointments are virtual, and it's all covered by your private medical insurance. Don't suffer from another sleepless night or daytime fatigue like I do. Visit PalmettoSleep.com now. Visit PalmettoSleep.com. That's PalmettoSleep.com.
1024 and a really beautiful I think, from inside the studio Thursday morning. I haven't been outside. I'm an indoor cat today. 10:24 on the Mark Arum Show. In case you just missed it, the 10 a.m. keyword in the 5K day bonus blitz is TOUR, T-O-U-R, TOUR. Enter the keyword TOUR into the WSB Radio app or at WSBradio.com/cash. You have until 10:30 to enter the keyword and win $1,000. Is my Yankee accent mispronouncing that word, Deborah? TOUR? That's a weird word. Yeah, TOUR.
That's how I say it, TOUR.
TOUR.
TOUR, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll have you, Deborah. Are you a fan of AI or are you scared of AI?
Well, I use AI, but mostly to do really stupid stuff. I've never used it to do anything kind of real. Like, I've never asked it to write something for work or anything, just to make dumb pictures.
Yeah,
of
I love it.
Longoria.
I love the dumb pictures that you make. I'm on the fence. I don't know. Like, I think it's scary what it could become, but I also see the benefits of the goofy pictures you make. But now this story, right in particular, makes me think that AI might be a good thing. Overseas, artificial intelligence has helped British police catch a fugitive pedophile after 27 years.
Boy Scout troop leader and boarding school dorm head Richard Burroughs went on the run in 1997 after he was charged with 97 counts of historical child sex abuse. Some of his victims say they'd given up hope he would ever face justice. Then, last year, British police turned to a website that uses facial recognition technology. It found him in seconds in Thailand. Yesterday, the 81-year-old Burroughs was sentenced to 46 years in prison. The judge called him despicable. Vicky Barker, CBS News, London.
So let me just recap that for you. This pedophile, fugitive pedophile, was on the run for years. Went on the run in 1997. He's been on the run since 1997, charged with 97 counts of child sex abuse. Since 1997, and then British police use AI, facial recognition technology, and they found him in a matter of seconds. Yesterday, he was sentenced to 46 years in prison. I mean, that's remarkable. I mean, if you are an AI fan, you lead with that story. You'd be like, AI is so good. This dude was on the run since 1997. We got him in seconds in Thailand. Crazy. So maybe AI is okay after all. All right, final chance. 10 a.m. keyword TOUR, T-O-U-R, TOUR. 5K day bonus blitz keyword is TOUR. Enter it into the WSB Radio app or at WSBradio.com/cash. You have until 10:30, 3 minutes to enter the keyword. Chance to win $1,000. The keyword is TOUR. News, weather, and traffic minutes away when we come back. Updating the Abrego Garcia story next on the Mark Arum Show.
Weather can be crazy. Dry for days and drenched with storms. Extreme heat to bitter cold, and your roof takes all the abuse. Dave Baker for Findlay Roofing, the roof guys. If your roof has problems, it may be showing you signs. Inside, look for wet spots on the ceiling or walls. Outside, check for streaks and stains or granules in the ground. If you find these, think of Findlay first. The perfect match for any roofing issues, and they offer 0% financing. Schedule your free roof analysis at FindlayRoofing.com.
Roof. Attention men, are you suffering from ED or PE? Here's an important message from Choice Men's Health.
I'm Dr. Katz, and I'm the Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Are you performing the way you want to in the bedroom? If the answer is no, and you've tried Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra and were disappointed, then you need to come see us immediately. If you don't see results on the first visit, then there's no charge. Many of our patients have medical conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and prostate problems. I'm happy to say that we have 98% success rate with all our patients. Our customized solutions will allow you to perform within 10 minutes and last an hour and even longer. You can regain your love life and tackle your ED and PE problems. Guys, your partner will never complain again. Our clinic has the most affordable prices, so if you visit other clinics and you're not completely satisfied, then you need to call Choice Men's Health.
Regain your love life regardless of your age or medical history. Choice Men's Health guarantees results on your first visit or you pay nothing. Call now. 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170.
Hi, it's Tim Andrews for My Roofer FGA Roofing. Are you considering a new roof but not sure when you'll be able to get it in the budget? FGA Roofing is offering a 000 offer this month. 0 down payment, 0 interest for 12 months, and 0 monthly payments. Search FGA Roofing for a free quote today.
If you're in the market as a home buyer or seller, there's a lot of noise out there and a lot of options. Should you find a company to buy your home, or accept a guaranteed cash offer, or do a traditional sale? Each of these has an upside, and each has a downside. Hi, I'm Deborah Morton, founder of Clario Real Estate. My team and I can offer all of these, and we help our clients sort through these choices every day. If you're thinking of buying or selling a home in the next 6 to 12 months, we can give you clarity so you can decide with confidence. My team and I are the experts. We have helped hundreds of families move and are ranked in the top 5% nationally. At Clario Real Estate, we can provide clarity on the best approach for you. Oh, and I'm also the real estate expert and host of the show Inside Georgia Real Estate, airing right here every Saturday at 1 p.m. Go to InsideGeorgiaRealEstate.com and tune in this Saturday at 1 p.m. for more. Clario Real Estate, real clarity, real certainty for the real value of your home.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 10:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by your Metro Atlanta Amco dealers. We do have breaking news this morning. And a surprise move. A Spalding County couple accused of starving and neglecting their 10-year-old son has pleaded guilty. Following this trial, and joining us live now, WSB's Veronica Waters.
That's right, Sabrina. A stunning turn as court opened today in Spalding County. Superior Court Judge Benjamin Coker announcing the sides had come to an agreement on a non-negotiated plea, and Krista and Tyler Shinley have now pleaded guilty to all counts against them. Those include aggravated assault, battery, first-degree child cruelty, and attempt to commit a felony, that felony being murder. District Attorney Marie Broder actually broke down as she read through each count and what the emaciated 10-year-old looked like when he was found. The Shinleys will return to court for sentencing at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Reporting live, Veronica Waters, 95.5 WSB.
All right, thank you, Ronnie. Your weather for today is going to be mostly cloudy. Some scattered pop-up showers and storms are possible with a high around 83, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. We now know the identity of a murder victim who was found on Easter Sunday in a wooded area near Crestlawn Memorial Park in northwest Atlanta. Police say 20-year-old Angela Cortez Villegas of Utah suffered multiple gunshot wounds. Police were initially asking for help from the public to identify her, releasing photos of her tattoos to the public. Atlanta police say it remains an active investigation at this time as they search for her killer. A reward of up to $5,000 is being offered for information in this case. Well, today is the deadline to get your taxes done. We got a little extra time because of the hurricane back in October. IRS spokesperson Stacey Ingalls says if you do owe but you can't pay it all,
we suggest that you make as large of a payment as you can to reduce any extra penalty and interest for paying late.
The IRS says most error-free electronically filed returns are processed within 5 business days. A warning today about growing nicotine use among teenagers. Correspondent Michael George has more on that.
The number of teens using nicotine pouches is skyrocketing. A study by the University of Southern California found in just a year, teen use of the easily concealed packets of nicotine nearly doubled. Influencers on social media have helped boost the popularity of nicotine pouches by claiming they help with confidence, masculinity, and mental sharpness.
The long-term health effects of nicotine pouches are unknown, but they do carry the risk of nicotine addiction, and some users report symptoms like mouth sores, gum irritation after using them. Other research has also suggested that exposure to nicotine during adolescence may actually harm brain development and cause problems with learning, memory, and attention. Now the latest on the tariffs. White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller this morning saying while he will not get ahead of the president with an announcement on trade deals, there is progress.
Countries from all over the world, because of President Trump's leadership, are desperate and dying to make trade deals with the United States. We're going to evaluate each of those deals, and President Trump is personally involved in making sure that these negotiations serve only one interest, which is the interest of the United States of America.
And the market seemed to like the news. The Dow's up 276 at 40,945. NASDAQ is also in positive territory, up more than 2%, and the S&P's up more than a full percent. It's 10:33. That means it's time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Ashley Frasca is in the WSB 24-hour traffic center with a look at your roads.
Earlier trouble that had the right lane blocked on 85 South around Pleasant Hill has been moved to the shoulder. Just be careful of the flashing lights there. That ride is much improved out of Gwinnett County into Norcross. Georgia 400 South is moving well. 75 North getting a little crowded up to Barrett Parkway. And still have the traffic lights flashing red in all directions from earlier this morning. Thornton Road at Douglas Hill Road. Remember to treat that as a four-way stop. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Mostly cloudy today with scattered pop-up showers and thunderstorms, high 83. Lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with pop-up showers and storms through the afternoon, high 82. Saturday, widespread rain showers and thunderstorms, morning lows in the 60s, daytime highs in the mid-70s.
It is 71 degrees right now in Sandy Springs, and Duluth has 70 degrees, 71 in Jefferson. We'll have more news at 11 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
When you need to know.
This story is developing in Atlanta.
When you want to know.
Severe weather is on its way.
When you have to know.
We'll alert you as soon as this closure clears.
Get notifications
from your source for news.
Get the WSB radio app.
Download it from your app store today.
Thanks to President Trump's tireless efforts to secure a lasting peace, I am glad to announce the signing of today's historic economic partnership
Treasury
agreement.
Secretary Scott Bessent discussing the rare earth minerals deal. We'll continue our team coverage of that story and maybe new developments in the case of Abrego Garcia. 2 minutes away on The Mark Arum Show.
At Butler Lexus of South Atlanta, buying a car is more than a transaction. It's a 5-star experience because they value you. Enjoy personalized offers and luxury perks, all designed with you in mind. Visit ButlerLexusSouthAtlanta.com or call 800-NEW-LEXUS today. Butler Lexus South Atlanta, the standard of amazing.
As Georgia's homegrown leader in business insurance, Builders partners with thousands of local businesses to safeguard workers and help them return to their lives after injuries. Explore reliable workers' compensation solutions at BLDRS.com. Builders, insurance built strong.
Is your heating and cooling system so old you can't remember when it was installed? If so, it's time to get protection from Reliable Heating and Air. Hey friends, it's Mark Arum. Check this out. Let Reliable Heating and Air protect your AC from breakdowns and your budget. Just $14.99 a month. They're licensed, bonded, and insured. No deductibles, no claims or paperwork, no service fees, just coverage for your aging AC and heating systems. Get all the information you need online at reliableair.com.
There's a new optimism in the air, and we think investors like you might have the best year ever. Hello, I'm Brant Frost, founder of First Liberty Building and Loan. Last year, we opened up our First Liberty Notes program to Main Street investors just like you, and the response has been just incredible. Everyday folks from all walks of life have enjoyed 8 to 13% interest rates while helping to fuel the growth of small businesses right here at home. If you're a qualified investor and have a minimum of $25,000, you too could be earning 8 to 13% interest rates. We'd love to have you join our First Liberty family today. We believe this is going to be a special year and a great year. We've got the projects. Now we need partners like you. Go to FirstLibertyGA.com and see if our First Liberty notes are right for you. Go to FirstLibertyGA.com. That's FirstLibertyGA.com.
First Liberty notes are not obligations of or guaranteed by any financial institution and are not secured by any collateral. They are not FDIC insured or guaranteed by any government agency. You could lose money. Purchasers must verify their SEC accredited investor status. Securities are not being offered in any jurisdiction in which it is unlawful.
Attention antique lovers, this weekend it's the Lakewood 400 Antique Market, located north of Atlanta on Georgia Highway 9, 2 miles south of Cumming. Visit their website at lakewoodantiques.com for more information. This weekend, don't miss the Lakewood 400 Antique Market.
Tonight, I can report to the American people and to the world that the United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama bin Laden, the leader of Al-Qaeda.
That was President Obama 14 years ago. You heard it on WSB Radio announcing that elite Navy SEAL task force executed an attack in Pakistan, rather, that resulted in the death of Al-Qaeda leader Osama bin Laden. That was 14 years ago. Unbelievable. Because of the time difference, though, it was actually May 2nd in Pakistan where the operation took place, but you heard that on May 1st on WSB Radio. Going to get to Stephen Portnoy in just a second about possible developments in the Abrego Garcia case. I want to get back to what has been our top story on the show, that amazing announcement of the rare earths mineral deal between the United States and Ukraine. White House affirms its commitment to ending Russia's war with Ukraine. ABC's chief foreign correspondent Ian Pennell has the details of the deal.
This is a landmark agreement, essentially giving the U.S. access to Ukraine's mineral wealth, estimated to be worth billions of dollars. Now, while it doesn't offer Ukraine the security guarantees that it wanted, it does say repeatedly that the U.S., quote, backs a peaceful and sovereign Ukraine. In a video message on X, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent saying it signals clearly to Russian leadership that the Trump administration is committed to a peace process centered on a free, sovereign Ukraine, saying it's time for this cruel and senseless war to end. The killing must stop.
Very optimistic I am about this deal. The markets are as well. The Dow's up almost 300 points. NASDAQ's up almost 400 points, all green across the board here in the United States. European markets were up. Asian markets were up mostly. But here in the U.S., good reaction from Wall Street on that rare earths mineral deal. We'll continue to update that story. If we get any new information about what's in that deal, we will let you know. All right, joining us now from ABC News, Stephen Portnoy. Stephen, good morning. Updating the case of Abrego Garcia, Secretary of State Marco Rubio has apparently been in touch with the president of El Salvador. What's the latest on this story?
Well, we know, according to multiple sources, that the Secretary of State has been in touch with the Salvadoran president about Kilmar Abrego Garcia. We don't know the substance of those conversations. There are reports from other organizations that the formal request was made to have Abrego Garcia released and returned to the United States, and the reporting is that the answer from El Salvador was no. Remember, the Supreme Court has ordered the administration to facilitate his release from the prison because the government acknowledges it mistakenly sent him back to his home country despite the withholding of removal that protected him from that. The Secretary of State was asked by my ABC News colleague Karen Travers yesterday inside the cabinet room whether the formal request has been made of El Salvador. And Secretary Rubio said, quote, well, I would never tell you that. And you know who else I would never tell? A judge. Because Maryland-based federal judge Paula Sinise has set a schedule for government officials, including in the State Department, to submit to sworn depositions where they are supposed to, under oath, explain the steps they've taken to comply with the judge's order to facilitate Abrego Garcia's return. So while the Secretary maintains that no information will be shared with either the press or the judge, let's see how this plays out. The judge had paused the discovery for a week for reasons that are not publicly known. She did it under seal last week, gave it a week, and now the pause button has been lifted. The schedule's back on. The government officials have until next Friday, a week from tomorrow, to submit to those sworn depositions.
Interesting. Stephen Portnoy from ABC here on the Mark Arum Show. Another one of your colleagues, Terry Moran, had that sit-down interview with President Trump where he basically admitted, I have the power to bring him back from El Salvador.
He said he could do it. Terry pointed to the phone on the Resolute desk, and the president said, well, he intimated he would be inclined to do it if Abrego Garcia were the kind of gentleman that he believes that he's been depicted as by various elements of the press. Look, the administration is pushing back against that strongly. Just yesterday, the Department of Homeland Security put out in a formal news release a link to an order of protection that was filed by Abrego Garcia's wife 5 years ago in the summer of 2020. It's one of multiple similar complaints that Jennifer Vasquez, the wife, made against Abrego Garcia, alleging that he was abusive toward her. In this particular example, it says that he struck her, that he broke her phone, left her with bruises, broke her TV, her son's tablet, her car windshield. That she even says in this filing from 2020 that he was violent in front of police. And it says here, I also have it seems to me it's a bit broken English, but I also have a recorded that he's told my ex-mother-in-law that even if he kills me, no one can do anything to him. Now, this was filed in 2020. Afterward, a month later, weeks later, the woman filed a petition to rescind it. She said that her son turns 1 and his family wants to be at her son's birthday, and that Kilmar Abrego Garcia has agreed to continue counseling. And if not, she said that he is willing to sign divorce papers. Now, this, again, was 5 years ago. And while there were multiple similar complaints, none of them resulted in criminal charges. And in each case, it seems as though Jennifer Vasquez rescinded the petition or simply refused to appear in court, and the matter was dropped. And now she is one of the strongest advocates for his return. I should point out, it has been years, at least 4, since a similar complaint that we're aware of was filed.
Interesting. Stephen, do we get any reaction from the White House to, back to the Terry Moran interview, the alleged Photoshop knuckle tattoo, President Trump tripling down that the M, I, and 13 were actually tattooed there, and when they obviously weren't? Did we get any pushback again from the Oval on that?
No, look, I think ultimately this, comes down to an interpretation of graphics, the actual tattoos themselves. The White House appears to have photoshopped the actual image to superimpose the letters M, S, and the numbers 1 and 3 on each of the symbols that the White House argues should be read to mean MS-13. The family of Kilmar Abrego Garcia insists that he was not and is not a member of the gang. The administration points to a complaint filed by local police back in 2019 that he had associated with the gang and was arrested at a Home Depot parking lot where day laborers gather for work. He was arrested alongside members of MS-13, and there was an informant, a confidential informant, who said that he had a gang ranking and a gang nickname. But that complainant, the confidential informant, also said that he was a member of the clique based on Long Island. Well, how could that be? Because there's no evidence he ever lived on Long Island. So if that's not true, how much else of it is true? And these are points that his attorneys would make.
So many moving parts to this story. Thank you so much, Stephen, for breaking it down. Have a great day, buddy.
You bet. You too.
I don't envision any scenario. I know, as Stephen mentioned, there's going to be some court hearings next Friday, depositions, etc. But the way I see the story now, I don't see any scenario where Garcia comes back to the United States ever. He's from El Salvador. He's in his home country now. Obviously, there's no great desire by either the Secretary of State or the president to bring him back. The president of El Salvador said he's not going anywhere. So I just think this is a story that is going to die on the vine. Unless the courts do something, unless the Supreme Court weighs in again, but they've already done that. But I don't see Abrego Garcia ever returning to the United States. I guess the question is, does he remain in jail in El Salvador, or has he become a free man in El Salvador? I don't ever see him coming back to the United States. But obviously, a still developing story. This story jumped off the page for me today, Deborah. Have you ever received a package delivered to your house that you didn't order? It's happened to me a couple times. Apparently, this is the start of a scam, a package scam. What are the details, Deborah?
Yeah, if you come home and there's a package there and you're all excited thinking, oh, which did I order? This isn't something for me. It's not a surprise from a friend or anything like that. It could be a scam, and it's actually called brushing, and fraudsters use it to brush up or boost like a product review by creating all these fake orders. So you can find your addresses really easy. Things are on public records. They know who lives where, and they can basically just order things as you and then go write all these fake reviews of them, so it kind of makes like the package look better. But they're using your name and everything. Now, the post office says there's really not much you can do about it. You can report it to the post office and the police, but don't worry about trying to send it back, and maybe not keep it either.
So, but I can keep it if I...
You can.
There's no repercussions. It's bought and paid for. It's just I didn't buy it and pay for it.
Right.
So, if, let's say, hypothetically, I get this box, this $1,000 box of Legos that someone sent to my house in a brushing scam. I can keep the Legos and I don't have to pay for them, and just to get a good review on Amazon or whatever. All right.
Yeah, they want to make it like, especially smaller companies, or if it's a newer product, like a bunch of good reviews are going to look better. It'll boost the ratings. Like maybe you look on Amazon and you look for the 5-star ratings, and there's all these fake views of 5-star ratings. Someone might go and buy it.
But that costs money to game the system like that. I don't know.
I mean, if y'all want to send me Legos, I'm down for it.
All right, I thought it was a more severe scam. Like, oh, you open it, you're going to jail. Those aren't your Legos, pal. But apparently it's not. Hey, congrats to Bo. He won $1,000 in the 5K a day bonus blitz. Another chance to win $1,000 comes up after the new news right before Eric Erickson. I'm going to give you that keyword around 12:06 p.m. Coming up next, CNN's data analyst Harry Enton with some polling data that looks really good for President Trump compared to his Democratic counterparts. We'll give you the numbers after we check traffic. Let's go back to Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center. Where are the hot spots now, Ashley Frasca?
Thankfully, there aren't too many of them, Mark. 85 South is just a little bit sluggish coming down from Highway 316. Earlier troublesome construction equipment sits on the right shoulder there, and clearing a truck crash from earlier on the shoulder. Lots of flashing lights and heavy-duty wreckers on the shoulder here. 285 North past Camp Creek Parkway, and just on and off the brakes downtown on the Connector North, getting up past I-20. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
On air,
Online,
on the app,
where you get your news,
is where you'll win.
Download the WSB radio app now and maybe win $1,000.
That is awesome.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
5 words, 5 times a day, every weekday.
This is Jill from Roswell, and I just won $1,000.
Just enter the word at WSBradio.com or on the WSB radio app.
Your next chance to win is coming up at 12.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz
on 95.5 WSB.
I know we just started spring, but already Maya and I have turned on the AC in our house a couple of times. Hey, it's Mark Aaron back from my pals at Reliable Heating and Air. We are going to use our AC a lot this summer. I'm sure you will as well. Great new deal from my friends at Reliable. Check this out, folks. Get any size air conditioning, any size AC, just $69.99 a month. Zero down payment, low monthly payments, unbeatable lifetime warranty, and next day installation guaranteed, or they pay you $500. Yes, any size AC, just $69.99 a month, zero down, low monthly payments. Don't go into another sweltering summer with your old AC unit. Get a new one from my friends at Reliable. Book an appointment for a convenient time right on their website at reliableair.com and click on the Schedule Service button, or call or text 770-594-9969, 770-594-9969.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, with all the things we're reading, seeing, and living through these days, from rate cuts, election season, and now a new administration, now seems like a great time to make sure we have that comprehensive plan in place. You know, the one that covers all our financial bases.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in will work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on portfolio x-ray, or click on full retirement plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS, Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Summertime means lots of home time, so give your family a clean start with help from Zerorez. Why settle for old school chemicals and harsh soaps when you can enjoy ZR water technology for carpets that stay cleaner longer? Right now, you can get 3 rooms of carpet clean for just $129. That is 3 rooms for $129. Mention me, Chris Chandler, to secure this deal, or book online at ZerorezAtlanta.com and ask about Zerorez commercial cleaning too. Zerorez, all they leave is clean.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard joining MediShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
They've much more reason to feel satisfied here in Kiev than perhaps they do in the Kremlin this morning.
That's BBC News correspondent John Dennison reporting on reaction to the rare earth minerals deal signed by the United States and Ukraine. Coming up after the news at 10, Steve Dennis from Bloomberg News is going to join us. Relatedly, Senator Lindsey Graham really wants to turn up the heat financially when it comes to Russia and sanctions. So we'll cover that angle of the story coming up after the news at 11. I want to update this, though. So if you've seen the poll numbers, President Trump's poll numbers have been dropping. But that doesn't mean people regret voting for him. CNN's data analyst Harry Enten this morning.
What do I got? Well, we asked the question in our last CNN poll, who would be doing a better job as president? Guess who comes out on top? Within the margin of error, but comes out on top. This looks a lot like the election result, right? Trump 45%, 2 points ahead of Harris at 43%. 12% say they'd be doing about the same. But this is the key nugget here. It's not just about regretting that vote. It's literally saying who would be doing the better job right now. And Trump continues to score a higher percentage of the vote than Kamala Harris. This looks a heck of a lot like the election result. We have just seen this in poll after poll after poll. Despite the fact that Trump's favorable ratings aren't too hot to trot, when he's matched up against who he was matched up in 2024, he still, across the polls, scores a higher percentage than Kamala Harris.
Yeah, pretty interesting there. So while the president's poll numbers are down, Americans not regretting their vote, saying that he would still be doing a better job than Kamala Harris would. What about the border and the economy? What are the poll numbers there, Harry?
Right. Okay. So we kind of talk about it a little bit up here when we match up Donald Trump against the Democrats in Congress. But what about the parties up against each other, right? Donald Trump has not seen those favorable polls when it comes to the economy, when it comes to immigration. But look here, which party has a better plan? And this is the margin among registered voters. Look at this on immigration. The GOP crushes the Democrats. Look at that. That's a 19-point edge. My goodness gracious, you rarely ever see leads like that in politics these days. How about on the economy, where Donald Trump's numbers have been struggling a little bit? But even there, Republicans hold a 9-point lead. If Democrats think that at this particular point, just because Donald Trump is unpopular, that they're going to run away with it like a Heisman Trophy winner, that is not necessarily the case. These numbers should be a major wake-up call for Democrats. Despite Donald Trump's unpopularity in the polls, when you actually go up against him and you put Democrats' names against him, when you put Republicans as a whole up against him, Republicans and Donald Trump do considerably better. And that is why Democrats, in fact, cannot count their chickens just yet, because those eggs have not cracked at this particular moment.
Inside the numbers there with data analyst Harry Enten. Harry referring to Democratic confidence when it comes to the midterms, that perhaps they can regain control of the House and maybe the Senate. But the numbers there are pretty stark. Even though President Trump's favorability ratings are dropping, he is still hammering the Democratic Party when it comes to the economy and the border. So I thought that was really fascinating stuff there from Harry Enten. We are going to go back to the White House in a little bit. Elena Treen talking about what the insiders in the Oval Office and the West Wing are saying about the ongoing trade wars and how things will move going forward as we continue. The president continues to negotiate tariff deals with other countries. So we're going to check in with the White House coming up next half hour. But when we come back after news, weather, and traffic, speaking of Russia, Senator Lindsey Graham with some harsh words for Russia and what we should do economically to hurt the Kremlin. Steve Dennis from Bloomberg News going to join us live next. 11:35. Deborah's got more tickets to give away as well to see Hans Zimmer. Another chance to win Hans Zimmer tickets coming up at 11:35. Social medias, we got them, and they are active during the show. At Mark Arum, MarkArum, and at WSB Radio.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Has your pest control company told you they won't be coming inside anymore and they raised their prices? Mark Arum here for my bug and critter company, Breda Pest Management. They protect the outside and inside of your home. It's the bugs inside you want gone. So if your pest company is doing less and charging more, you need Breda. Get started at BREDAPest.com.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
An investment in your home is something that will pay off in the future, but it's something that you can enjoy right now. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage, Entry Doors, and Windows. A beautiful new garage door, entry doors, and windows are an investment you can love every day, and they will increase your home's value, energy efficiency, and curb appeal. All Four Seasons, trusted in Atlanta for over 25 years, exceptional customer service, and high-quality work. When trust matters, trust us. All the number 4 Seasons Garages.com.
Hey folks, it's Shelley Winter here. You know, sometimes they make fun of me around the office because I doze off at my desk while doing show prep. Well, you know why that happened? It's because of a lack of sleep. I have sleep apnea. So if you snore or have sleep apnea also, you're not living life to the fullest. So listen up. I know you're tired, but in all seriousness, this is important. My friends over at Palmetto Sleep are changing lives with a custom-fit oral appliance that stops your snoring and treats sleep apnea. I'm not talking about something you buy out of a supermarket. This is a custom-made for your mouth and covered by your private medical insurance. What I love most is that they do everything from the diagnosis to the delivery of the oral appliance and everything in between. They even provide a take-home sleep study and virtual consults. If you're ready for a great night's sleep, you're ready for Palmetto Sleep. Go to palmettosleep.com. That's palmettosleep.com right now. Don't suffer from another sleepless night. palmettosleep.com.
News, weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 11 o'clock. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by the Next Generation Xfinity 10G network. We do have breaking news and a shocking turn of events. A Spalding County couple accused of starving and neglecting their 10-year-old son. Well, they pleaded guilty this morning. Following the story, joining us live, WSB's Veronica Waters.
Guilty pleas on all counts for Krista and Tyler Schindley, and they come after a powerful first day of opening statements and testimony in which several witnesses choked back tears, describing the shoeless 10-year-old boy who had been found wandering his Griffin neighborhood looking for food. A paramedic teared up, recalling how size 5 toddler clothes dwarfed the boy's emaciated body and how he ate whatever he was given and cried and yelled if they moved to take any food he wasn't eating out of his sight. His extensive bruising and scars, his whip-smart, kind personality, and pleas that he not be made to go back home to parents who, quote, hated him. The district attorney was emotional herself this morning, bullet pointing every charge this morning against the couple. They face sentencing at 1 p.m. Reporting live, Veronica Waters, 95.5 WSB.
All right, thank you, Veronica. Your weather for today, it's going to be mostly cloudy. Scattered pop-up showers and storms are possible with an afternoon high of 83, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. All right, you want to know what car is safest for your teenage driver? Well, at a price you can also afford. The annual rankings for the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety and Consumer Report is now out with its list, and correspondent Chris Van Cleve tells us the types of vehicles that made the list and the ones that did not.
The vehicles range from small sedans to large cars, small and medium-sized SUVs, and minivans, with all earning good crash ratings from IIHS.
Not on the list, especially small cars, especially big SUVs, sports cars.
or electric vehicles because they have so much power they can rapidly accelerate, and IHS says that might not be the best thing for a new teen driver.
And the list identifies cars at 3 different price points, all rated safe for teenage drivers. In Johns Creek this morning, police are on the lookout for a man seen on surveillance video trying to break into cars. This is in the Aberley Township neighborhood off State Bridge Road. The person's wearing a hoodie and a mask. He walks into a driveway and then checks to see if the vehicles are unlocked or not. The person has broken into 2 cars already and attempted to break in several others, according to police. Residents are being urged to make sure your vehicles are locked and don't leave anything of value in your car or truck. It's now going to cost you 3 times the amount you paid yesterday to park at Atlanta's airport.
All parking lots at Hartsfield-Jackson now come with new prices, triple what they were. It's the first increase in 8 years, according to the airport's Tyrania Smith, who says the increase may also keep long-term parkers out of the short-term lots.
Because our rates are so low, people were using it as long-term parking as well, which was just adding to our congestion.
Smith says a look at the airport's website, atl.com, will spell out the new parking lot prices.
There's a parking section available.
Lisa Nicholas, 95.5 WSB.
Let's talk about jobs. The Labor Department says initial jobless claims rose more than expected last month. They jumped about 18,000. That's double what many analysts had been predicting. This comes after Wednesday's report that the gross domestic product in the U.S. fell for the first time in almost 3 years. But the positive talk about tariffs and a possible deal has the markets happy today. The Dow's up 345 at 41,015. NASDAQ is currently up almost 2.5%, and the S&P's up almost 1.5%. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. We say good morning to Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Hey, good morning, Sabrina. Right now, tracking some delays through downtown, 75-85 northbound. Pretty jammed in, University Avenue up toward I-20. Once you get past I-20, it stays sluggish up to trouble off to the right near Peachtree Pine Street. Elsewhere, it looks like a crash on that new long ramp, 285 westbound, that takes you to Roswell Road. Seeing some delays there, leaving Georgia 400. And the traffic lights are flashing red in Douglas County, Thornton Road at Douglas Hill Road. Make sure you treat that as a 4-way stop. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Mostly cloudy today with scattered pop-up showers and thunderstorms, high 83, lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with scattered rain showers and thunderstorms through the afternoon, high 82. Widespread rain and a few thunderstorms on Saturday, highs in the mid-70s.
70 degrees in Johns Creek. It's 73 in Lithia Springs. Tucker, you have 70 degrees right now. We'll have more news at 11:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
I'll run this town to be near you.
11:04 on this thankful Thursday. Sure, why not? Mark Aram and crew with you till noon. Coming up in 30 minutes, Deborah's got tickets to see Hans Zimmer. 1 hour from right now, I'm going to give you another keyword in the 5K Day Bonus Blitz. Chance for you to win $1,000, just like Bo did from Mansell. I don't know if he lives on Mansell Road or what, but he won $1,000 last hour here on the 5K Day Bonus Blitz, 95.5 WSB. We're monitoring the big story today. The U.S. and Ukraine signed a rare minerals deal after months of tense talks. Huge story with national and international implications. Perhaps the relationship between the White House and the Kremlin is souring. This could be a game breaker. Relatedly, adjacently to the story, South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham had strong words and a strong idea on how we can punish Russia. Covering the story from Bloomberg News, joining us live, Stephen Dennis. Stephen, good morning. Thanks for your time.
Hey, it's great to be here.
I didn't see this coming. I did not see Lindsey Graham putting a flag in the sand when it comes to sanctions against Russia.
I mean, Lindsey Graham's been one of the biggest opponents of Russia going back years, but he's also close to President Trump, who has almost never criticized Vladimir Putin or Russia. So it's just kind of interesting here. His argument is that this new bill, which he now says he has 72 senators supporting, which is a very large number, including leaders in both parties, is intended to give Trump more leverage in the negotiations, given that Trump has been saying he's been frustrated by both sides and the inability to reach a peace deal. And so it is interesting. It is in this respect. There's still a very large well of support for Ukraine and a very large well of opposition to Putin and Russia inside the U.S. Senate. And I think that there had been some questions of whether that would continue in a Trump administration. And this is a sign that, at least in the Senate, there's still a strong opposition to Russia and strong support for Kyiv.
Senator Graham called these bone-crushing new sanctions proposed in this bill. Do we have any idea what's in the bill and what these sanctions might look like?
Yeah, so this would basically allow a 500% tariff on any country that buys Russian oil, gas, uranium, and other key products. So that includes countries like China or India or Iran or, even European countries that currently are buying Russian oil or gas. In particular, that's their main export, a big source of revenue for their war machine and their government. So this is the kind of crushing sanction that we have not been willing to impose, because the potential there is, if you cut off Russian exports of oil and gas, you're going to cause those prices to go up. And usually politicians don't like going to their citizens and saying you're going to have to pay higher gas prices or higher energy prices. But, Graham basically says, look, this is about giving President Trump another tool in the toolbox to pressure Russia, bring them to the table, and warns that Putin would be making a mistake if he doesn't make some offers towards a just peace.
That makes sense, because I've been saying for a long time now, there's no incentive for Vladimir Putin to want to end this war right now. As President Trump said, he has all the cards. There's not much leverage there for the president to have on the heels of this rare earth mineral deals. Granted, there's no military protection guarantee, but the fact that there'll be United States citizens from mining companies in Ukraine is certainly going to be a deterrent, I would think, militarily. But that's a big number. So a 500% tariff on any country that imports Russian oil, petroleum, natural gas, uranium. You mentioned China, but how about India? That's a pretty sizable trade partner for the United States. What might India do if they get slapped with a 500% tariff?
Yeah, I think that this, if this were enacted and Trump put it into place, I do think you would see, countries would have to respond. And I think most countries that want to have a good relationship with the United States would try to find their oil and gas somewhere else. But if you look at a country like China, we're already crushing them with huge tariffs.
Exactly.
There's already a huge drop off with tariffs over 100%. I'm not sure what an additional 500% would do. So it's kind of a little bit unclear, how whether this would even be like a workable policy, because there are a lot of countries that would have a tough decision to make. There certainly would be probably some poorer countries that would have the potential to get some really cheap oil and gas from Russia, and for some of them, that might be actually better for them than exporting things to the U.S. So it'll be interesting to watch if this actually comes to fruition. It's unclear whether House leadership would back this.
Yeah, that was my next question.
Yeah.
Like, what are the chances of this bill getting through?
I think there's a decent chance that it would eventually pass, but, Graham's push at this point is not to override a veto and force this down the president's throat. His intention is to sort of have this big stick waiting in reserve for the moment Trump says there's an impasse, and then they try to slam it through. And he says there's enough support in the House to bring this up to the floor. Of course, you would need 67 Senate votes and 290 in the House to actually override a veto. I don't think it's going to get to that. I think it's more of a question of does Trump want to use this as a tool to threaten Putin?
That being said, final question, Steve. Have we heard from the White House? Have they offered comment on Senator Graham's bill?
Yeah, as far as, I think they may later today. We've yet to hear from the White House. We did send in a request for comment last night. I do think it's notable that top Republican leaders over here have signed on to the bill. So this is an unusual coalition. You got top Democrats, top Republicans on an issue that would affect trade in Russia in the Trump era.
Gotcha. Stephen Dennis, Bloomberg News. As always, appreciate your time, sir.
All right, thank you.
This just popping on CNN. Sources to CNN say National Security Advisor Mike Waltz is expected to leave his post. Let's go live to CNN real quick. This is Caitlin Collins reporting.
Inadvertently added a reporter to a group chat where they talked about sensitive military strikes. But also this week in particular has been a real focus for Mike Waltz's job and the standing of his position inside the West Wing. I was told that it was communicated to Mike Waltz earlier this week that his time as the National Security Advisor under President Trump had come to an end. He has been fighting that and attempting to stay all week. Just yesterday, he was inside the cabinet meeting with President Trump. When he went around the table, they stopped at Mike Waltz as he gave an update the National Security Council. He was on Fox News this morning as well and was even inside the West Wing this morning. But we are told that he is expected to depart. He was not being ousted immediately. He was given some time, essentially, before he was going to be ousted. As Jeff noted there, they do not have a replacement yet. But it really speaks to just what has happened with Mike Waltz ever since that story first broke. He had been on shaky ground, and it never really recovered. His standing inside, not just the view of the president, but also other top aides inside the West Wing, did not feel he was the right fit for that job. And so now the question is who they will replace him with, who will take over, because it's a sensitive time as they are working to negotiate a ceasefire between Russia and Ukraine, a permanent one, not just one that's a few days, and also navigating many other foreign policy issues that are on the horizon right now, Wolf. And so it is a real question of who is going to replace him. And I should note that his deputy is also expected to depart. So essentially, the top leadership of the National Security Council will be leaving. Well, I would also be remiss if I did not mention the meeting that happened at the White House a few weeks ago with Laura Loomer, who is a far-right activist who came and had a one-on-one audience with President Trump. Mike Waltz was actually partially in the room for some of that meeting. She attacked many of the staffers on the National Security Council and told President Trump they were not serving him well and they were not carrying out his agenda. That also played a huge role in how the president himself was viewing the National Security Council. And so now a major shakeup underway at the National Security Council, and also, Wolf, the first one of Trump's second term. This is his first major departure since he took office.
Yeah, Caitlin Collins there live on CNN. So sources to CNN, this is a big deal. Sources say that National Security Advisor Mike Waltz is expected to leave his post in the coming days. This goes back to the Signal app chat story. Waltz was the person that inadvertently invited the Atlantic editor onto that Signal chat. So apparently that has stuck in the craw of the Trump administration. And most notably, the president has been backing Pete Hegseth, the defense secretary, but apparently not backing National Security Advisor Mike Waltz. This just popping. Apparently, there are some rumors that Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, who's been heading up all the international negotiations, the real estate developer, friend of the president, he is under consideration to replace Waltz as the National Security Advisor. Again, some breaking news there. CNN reporting sources that the National Security Advisor, Mike Waltz, is expected to leave his post in the coming days, and maybe his deputy as well. We're going to try to get some more confirmation on this, but obviously a pretty serious story. I thought this would have been, I thought Waltz would have been safe, right? How long ago, Deborah, was that first Signal app story? Like over a month, right?
Oh God, longer than that, I think.
Yeah, and he was the gentleman that inadvertently invited the Atlantic magazine editor onto that private Signal app chat, and apparently that was the fatal flaw. for Mike Waltz. So again, CNN reporting that Walz expected to leave his post. It would be the first departure in the Trump administration, the second Trump administration. Obviously, a story that we are going to monitor. I do want to go up to the White House for a second, briefly, talking to CNN's Elena Trine about what's going on inside the halls of the White House when it comes to questions about the ongoing trade war.
I've spent a lot of time over the past couple of days speaking with top White House officials, administration officials, and it's clear to me that pressure is really mounting on the president's economic team to show any sort of good news for the American people, right? They really want a trade deal to be announced to give Americans more reason to continue to be patient, as the president said they needed to be yesterday on social media. Now, part of this as well, we've heard, from Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent to Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, from the president himself, that they are moving in closer on a deal. And there is optimism that that will happen. But again, it's the timing of this. They recognize that the state of the economy is not necessarily where it needs to be right now. And from my conversation, there is some quiet anxiety over how quickly, or really how slow, these talks are moving. And so I think, we are going to see potentially a quick deal in the coming days, maybe next week, as the Treasury Secretary said. That's really something they are hoping to deliver on.
Elena Trine at the White House this morning. Possibly we're going to see an agreement from the United States and one of our trade partners on a deal. Again, the breaking news just popped in the last couple of minutes. CNN reporting that National Security Advisor Mike Waltz expected to leave his post. We'll try to get some more info on that. If you're listening to me, you probably have a number of apps on your phone. Where is that data going? Could it impact your insurance rates? Channel 2 investigative reporter Justin Gray is going to be live in studio. But first, let's check the mid-morning ride around town. Let's say hello and good morning to Alex Williams.
Hey, good morning, Mark. Watching some brake lights on the southeast side of the perimeter right now. 285 east and northbound between Flat Shoals. Most of it in those right lanes, trying to ramp on to I-20 eastbound in DeKalb County. Once you're on I-20 eastbound, they got right lane construction between Wesley Chapel and Panola Road. Elsewhere downtown, still seeing some volume. 7585 northbound, University Avenue, up past Freedom Parkway. And if you brake lights between Marietta and Ackworth, or Kennesaw, I should say, 75 northbound, leaving North Marietta Parkway up toward Chastain Road. Traffic brought to you by Whole Foods Market. Save on your favorite brands at Whole Foods Market. Get 30% off all Siete items with Prime through May 6th while supplies last. Shop in-store or online. Terms apply. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
On air,
online,
on the app,
where you get your news,
is where you'll win.
Download the WSB radio app now and maybe win $1,000.
That is awesome.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
5 words, 5 times a day, every weekday.
This is Jill from Roswell, and I just won $1,000.
Just enter the word at WSBradio.com or on the WSB radio app.
Your next chance to win is coming up at 12.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz
on 95.5 WSB.
Is your old AC unit ready for another sweltering Atlanta summer? Probably not. Hey, good news. Mark Aaron back from my friends at Reliable. Great new deal going on right now, guys. Any size AC, just $69.99 a month, 0 down, low monthly payments, and next day installation guaranteed, or they pay you $500. Any AC, just $69.99 a month. Book an appointment for a convenient time right on their website at reliableair.com and click on the schedule service button or call or text 770-594-9969.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, founder of Hoffman Financial Group, to discuss one of the biggest blind spots that people face when saving for retirement, and it's a head scratcher. Chris, how do so many people not know what they're invested in?
That's the biggest flaw that everybody runs into. They think they know what equities they have, they think they know what bonds they have, but they really don't know how those mutual funds or how those index funds are performing in conjunction with one another. So, I would liken this to a big pot of soup, and we're just throwing all the ingredients in the refrigerator in this thing. It's not very good. It's just a mishmash of stuff. And sometimes you like the way it tastes. Sometimes you don't. And when you don't know why. You don't know if you got too much chicken in there or too much vegetables in there or what's going on. And I ask every caller that comes in for an initial consultation, do you know how your portfolio is broken down? And they say, well, I've got, 20 or so options in my 401k, and I just picked 2 of them or 3 of them. I thought I needed some international. I thought I needed some U.S. equities. I thought I needed some bonds. And they're just guessing. So you have to absolutely know what you're invested in, and that's where we will run the 401k portfolio x-ray for you, because that'll break it down. If you're not proficient at investing and don't understand this world, we will walk you through it. Not knowing what you're invested in is a big hindrance to growing and protecting your money. We will run a portfolio x-ray for you and educate you on exactly what's in your portfolio.
Set up a time to get your complimentary portfolio x-ray today. Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858. That's 404-737-3858, or book online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Post Malone presents the Big Ass Stadium Tour. 9-time Diamond certified and 16-time Grammy Award nominated phenomenon, Post Malone. His biggest headline tour, live at Mercedes-Benz Stadium May 11th. Global superstar, Post Malone, with Jelly Roll and special guest Sierra Farrell. Get tickets now at LiveNation.com.
Attention men, are you suffering from ED or PE? Here's an important message from Choice Men's Health.
I'm Dr. Katz, and I'm the Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Are you performing the way you want to in the bedroom? If the answer is no, and you've tried Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra and were disappointed, then you need to come see us immediately. If you don't see results on the first visit, then there's no charge. Many of our patients have medical conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and prostate problems. I'm happy to say that we have 98% success rate with all our patients. Our customized solutions will allow you to perform within 10 minutes and last an hour and even longer. You can regain your love life and tackle your ED and PE problems. Guys, your partner will never complain again. Our clinic has the most affordable prices, so if you visit other clinics and you're not completely satisfied, then you need to call Choice Men's Health.
Regain your love life regardless of your age or medical history. Choice Men's Health guarantees results on your first visit or you pay nothing. Call now. 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170.
If you're in the market as a home buyer or seller, there's a lot of noise out there and a lot of options. Should you find a company to buy your home, or accept a guaranteed cash offer, or do a traditional sale? Each of these has an upside and each has a downside. Hi, I'm Deborah Morton, founder of Clario Real Estate. My team and I can offer all of these, and we help our clients sort through these choices every day. If you're thinking of buying or selling a home in the next 6 to 12 months, we can give you clarity so you can decide with confidence. My team and I are the experts. We have helped hundreds of families move and are ranked in the top 5% nationally. At Clario Real Estate, we can provide clarity on the best approach for you. Oh, and I'm also the real estate expert and host of the show Inside Georgia Real Estate, airing right here every Saturday at 1 p.m. Go to InsideGeorgiaRealEstate.com and tune in this Saturday at 1 p.m. for more. Clario Real Estate, real clarity, real certainty for the real value of your home.
11:24 on the Mark Arum Show news team trying to gather more information. Rumors that Mike Walz might depart the administration. We'll have more on that at the bottom of the hour. This story scares me. Joining us live in studio, Channel 2 Action News investigative reporter Justin Gray. It's called surveillance pricing. I'm going to break it down for you. I live in Decatur. I go online to a big outlet and say, oh, I want to buy this TV. Andrew Longoria lives in Smyrna. He logs on to the same website, and they give him a cheaper price than I get in Decatur. It's called surveillance pricing, Justin. What the heck?
Yeah, I mean, really, you and I could be sitting here in the same room, both log into one of these retailers and get a different price for no apparent reason because of all this data they're tracking about you. It's pretty wild. It's hard to track, and that's what we try to do. We put 50 people all around the country tracking some items at different major retailers to see what we found out.
And these are big retailers that people would know the names.
Yeah, all the big guys. I mean, I'm not shy to say it. Amazon, Walmart, Target, Best Buy, Lowe's, Home Depot, the places where you shop.
So why would you and I get different prices?
And that is the, $1 million question, right? And that's what's so tricky to find out. It could be some little bit of data one of these third-party data brokers found out about you one day. It could be where you live versus where I live. It could be how often you've been checking a price. There's so many different reasons we could be getting different prices.
Certain algorithms there. You gave me an example real quick of a grill, an outdoor grill.
Yeah, I got charged more for a grill than everybody else in our tester. We had 50 testers. Only 2 people got this price. there's like $50 more than everyone else. We kind of narrow that down to location where I live in town, Atlanta. It was saying I wanted to shop at that Edgewood shopping center, that nightmare parking situation. Gave me a higher price than if it would have defaulted to Chamblee.
And you're a highly paid TV
Of course,
investigative reporter.
that's
All right, I'd never heard of that. Surveillance pricing. Special report this evening on Channel 2 Action News at
5 o'clock. Yeah, a lot of really good information.
All right, surveillance pricing. I will be watching that. Justin, always good to see you, my friend.
Yeah, great to be here.
All right, when we come back, more on the developing story. Is Mike Waltz going to leave the Trump administration? We'll work on that, and we'll update the rare earth mineral deal signed between the United States and Ukraine. Big story there. News, weather, and traffic next on 95.5 WSB.
Have you ever walked into your home and thought to yourself, what is that smell? Well, that smell's a sign your air quality needs some help with the air duct experts at Zero Res. Dirt, dust, and allergens, they love to make themselves at home in your home, but Zero Res loves to get them out. Plus, right now, if you mention me, Chris Chandler, you get $50 off your next air duct cleaning. Use promo code AIR50 when scheduling online at ZeroResAtlanta.com today. And ask about Zero Res commercial cleaning, too. Zero Res, all they leave is clean.
Hope. It's more than a word. It's a breakthrough in the making. At City of Hope, we're pushing the boundaries of science, targeting cancer at the molecular level, with teams of experts working together to personalize a treatment plan right down to your DNA with unprecedented speed, making every second count, with appointments in as little as 24 hours. City of Hope, advancing cancer care at life-saving speed. Learn more at cityofhope.org.
Storm season officially here, friends, and it wreaks havoc on your house and your roof. It's Mark Aram here. If you truly want peace of mind about your roof, and for many years to come, ask Dr. Roof about their lifetime warranty. Dr. Roof's warranty means they have your roof covered for the lifetime of your roof, and if anything comes up, Dr. Roof will take care of it. You never have to worry about a thing. They stand behind it since they've been in business for over 35 years. Now that is peace of mind. All the info online at drroof.com.
Founded by hardworking Georgians in 1992, Builders provides tailored insurance solutions to safeguard workers and business owners from costly accidents. Explore reliable workers' compensation and general liability products at BLDRS.com. Builders, insurance built strong.
Hey, it's Shelley Winter here from my good friends at PalmettoSleep.com. Let's talk about a serious business, sleep apnea. I suffer from it, and whether you've been diagnosed with it or afraid you have it, I have the solution. Palmetto Sleep is here to give you your life back. They make it easy to get help for sleep apnea because living without a good night's sleep is simply no way to live. Palmetto Sleep offers a custom-fitted oral appliance that opens your airway so you naturally breathe the way nature intended. The best part is they offer virtual consultations and in-home sleep testing. No overnight stays at a sleep center. Plus, Palmetto Sleep has all the doctors that you will need. Most appointments are virtual, and it's all covered by your private medical insurance. Don't suffer from another sleepless night or daytime fatigue like I do. Visit PalmettoSleep.com now. Visit PalmettoSleep.com. That's PalmettoSleep.com.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 11:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by Rocco's European Garage, and we have breaking news this half hour. A big shakeup within the Trump administration.
CBS News special report. President Trump's national security advisor Mike Waltz and his top deputy Alex Wong will be leaving their jobs. In March, Waltz came under scrutiny for setting up a Signal group chat on plans for a strike on Yemen that included a journalist. CBS's Margaret Brennan.
While Signalgate, so to speak, was the beginning of a level of distrust here, the president has maintained no one did anything wrong. So that cannot be the grounds for a dismissal. My understanding is that it is actually going to some policy divides and some frustration on a personal level with Waltz and Wong.
The president had repeatedly signaled his support, saying Waltz had learned a lesson, but CBS's Jen Jacobs reports.
New things have come to the president's understanding. There have been new developments. Don't know exactly what those are yet, but something has shaken the president's confidence in his national security advisor.
CBS News Special Report. I'm Stacey Lynn.
All right, your weather for today, mostly cloudy with scattered pop-up showers and storms possible today. Highs around 83. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards will have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up in just over 2 minutes. Guilty of all charges, a Spalding County couple accused of starving and neglecting their 10-year-old son has pleaded guilty. Krista and Tyler Shenley entering that plea this morning. WSB's Veronica Waters says the guilty pleas come after a powerful first day of opening statements and testimony, like a paramedic who teared up during testimony.
Recalling how Sally's 5 toddler clothes dwarfed the boy's emaciated body and how he ate whatever he was given and cried and yelled if they moved to take any food he wasn't eating out of his sight. His extensive bruising and scars, his whip-smart, kind personality, and pleas that he not be made to go back home to parents who, quote, hated him.
Now, the little boy weighed only 36 pounds when he was found wandering the streets looking for food and asking police not to take him home. The couple will be sentenced this afternoon at 1 o'clock. General Motors says tariffs will cut into its 2025 profits. The CEO of the company saying tariffs will cost her company $4 to $5 billion this year. GM has already moved some pickup production back to its Fort Wayne plant here in the United States. Well, an old Soviet spaceship is expected to fall back to Earth next week. It was launched 53 years ago to explore Venus, but failed to get out of the Earth's orbit. It's been stuck there ever since. It's expected to fall back to Earth next week, but scientists don't know exactly where or when. Some guess May 9th, others say May 10th. The craft weighs 1,000 pounds and has a heat shield, so it's not going to burn up in the atmosphere. Smithsonian astronomer Jonathan McDowell says it's only going to be going about 200 miles an hour, but that is substantial if it hits you. We'll be watching. And new jobless numbers are out today. 2 weeks ago, 223,000 out-of-work Americans filed for unemployment benefits. Economists were expecting a slight decline. Instead, the number surged past 18,000, the biggest jump in months. All told, 1.9 million Americans are getting unemployment benefits right now. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow is currently up 363 at 41,033. So the Dow's up almost a full percent. Nasdaq's up more than 2%, and the S&P's up more than a full percent. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Just found a brand new crash into Midtown, I-85 southbound, right at the ramps to I-75 north there as you approach 17th Street. It knocks out the second left lane, slowing things back toward Georgia 400. That'll also impact the Beaufort Spring connector southbound. WSB's own Ashley Frasca says you're seeing some brake lights, 75 northbound, approaching 575. We're at around 575. There's a crash off to the right, adding to the slow zone there. And on the southwest leg of the perimeter, they're still cleaning up this earlier crash, 285 northbound, the inner loop past Camp Creek Parkway, exit 2. Plenty of flashing lights there, but all on the right shoulder. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Mostly cloudy today with scattered pop-up showers and thunderstorms, high 83. Lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with pop-up showers and storms through the afternoon, high 82. Saturday, widespread rain showers and thunderstorms, morning lows in the 60s, daytime highs in the mid-70s.
72 degrees in Canton, Dunwoody. You have 73 degrees at 75 in Riverdale. We'll have more news at noon. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
The news of the day through the eyes of Eric Von Hessler.
I've listened to many arguments, and there are good arguments to say that we shouldn't. I'm just saying.
If it's on your mind, it's on his.
This is the only way to do it. Some people are going to lose their job, and then they're going to be put back in the job.
Eric Von Hessler, today at 3.
It's about you. You're being celebrated.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Today's agreement signals clearly to Russian leadership that the Trump administration is committed to a peace process.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent announcing the rare earth minerals deal between the U.S. and Ukraine. We'll continue our in-depth coverage on that. And is the National Security Advisor about to leave the White House? We'll update those big stories next on The Mark Arum Show.
This is Scott Slade. Let's talk about how to improve your chances of living a longer, healthier life. For me, it's preventive medicine. My doctor saw one funky number in my lab work that eventually led to a diagnosis early enough so I still had options. You just got to have a medical professional looking at you every so often, especially when we're talking about heart disease, the nation's #1 killer. And that's where virtual imaging comes in. They've got the best CT imaging in the Southeast with 98% accuracy and low radiation, like flying in an airplane. They can detect calcium levels in your arteries and most cancers at the earliest stage. And virtual imaging can scan your brain to see if you're in danger of a tumor, stroke, or even dementia. So don't put this off, especially with this offer from virtual imaging. For a limited time, they're offering you and your spouse a free heart scan. Yes, free with a few minimum requirements. I've done it. Call 404-678-SCAN. That's 404-678-SCAN. or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
When everyone in the family wants something different from this year's vacation, there's only one thing to do. Plan for Pigeon Forge. From gorgeous mountain views, shows, and shopping for leisure lovers to coasters, a 200-foot swing, and hundreds more rides for adventure seekers. Plus Dollywood's epic array of fun. There's plenty of variety for the whole family, all in one place. Unique experiences, quality time, and memories for years to come. Find your personal favorites. Plan your getaway at mypigeonforge.com.
Don't miss your chance to take advantage of the Buy 4, Get 4 free sale and pay nothing until 2027. Sale ends soon, only from Window Nation. Schedule your free estimate now at 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. That's windownation.com.
Hey everyone, it's your buddy Shelly Winter here. Join me this Saturday at noon for the Car Guys with Kevin Deutsch from Butler Lexus of South Atlanta. Buy or lease, fix or sell, everything you want to know about cars, we will cover Saturday noon to 1 right here on 95.5 WSB.
Coming up from the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra, a Delta classical concert featuring Tchaikovsky's delightfully atmospheric First Symphony, Winter Daydreams. Your orchestra welcomes piano virtuoso Marc-Andre Hamelin to perform Bartók's Third Piano Concerto, which overflows with dazzling pianism and good cheer. The program begins with Weinberg's raucous rhapsody on Moldovan themes, May 15th and 17th at Symphony Hall. Details at aso.org.
Critters, creeping? Better call Breda Pest Management. They handle bugs and critters. And Breda is proud to sponsor Scott Slade, Georgia, every Thursday on Atlanta's Morning News.
Breda, Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
He packed in the animals 2 by 2, ox, a camel, and a kangaroo.
11:38 will turn out to be a really busy news day Thursday. Welcome back, friends. Mark Aram and gang with you till noon. Right after the new news, I'm going to give you another keyword of the 5K day bonus blitz. You can win $1,000 like Bo did in the 10 o'clock hour. That's coming up right after the news at noon. But first, let's give away some delicious tickets. Deborah Green, what do we have this morning?
Delicious tickets to go see Hans Zimmer at Gas South Arena on Thursday, September 11th.
Yes. Vinny, let's make it easy for you, kid. Sixth caller to 404-872-0750 wins a pair of tickets to see Hans Zimmer, Gas South Arena, September 11th, courtesy of the Mark Aram Show and 95.5 WSB. Before we update the United States-Ukraine rare earth mineral deal, updating the news again, it appears that National Security Advisor Mike Waltz is set to leave his post. And I had forgotten about this, but our buddy Jamie Dupree just posted on social media. Waltz left Congress for this job. He was a congressman in Florida with time on his term. He left to take the National Security Advisor job and apparently is going to be stepping down in the next day or two. That stinks for him. He, of course, is basically falling on the sword, got in the bad graces because he inadvertently added that journalist onto that Signal chat app. So that's a new story that's developing here. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz apparently on his way out of the White House. Any confirmation or new developments on that, we'll bring them to you here on 95.5 WSB. All right, joining us on the program, correspondent Rory O'Neill. Rory, back and forth with this rare earth minerals deal. It was on, it was off, appears to be back on again. Ukraine prepared to sign a deal that will give the U.S. access to its rare minerals. What can you tell us about this deal?
So the broad framework has been agreed to. It was signed yesterday by our Treasury Secretary and a counterpart from Ukraine. It's the U.S.-Ukraine Reconstruction Investment Fund. Essentially, the U.S. and Ukraine will go hand in hand in trying to set up deals to bring in investment that would allow for mining of rare earth minerals. It would allow for exploration of oil, natural gas, and also upgrade the pipeline and port systems there in Ukraine. So it's a pretty broad deal. Now, it does not reimburse the U.S. for all the stuff we've sent these past 3 years. But going forward, as we send military hardware, that may be considered a contribution to this investment fund. So it might be more of an incentive to keep up the military support for Ukraine.
Interesting. Now, the first deal that was supposed to be signed obviously didn't after that disastrous meeting in the Oval Office when Ukrainian president was shown the door. Is this the same deal, do we we know, that was going to be signed before that Oval Office blow up, or have there been changes to it?
Yeah, we believe there were some slight changes, so nibbles around the edges, but the fundamentals are still the same. The other big point here is that there's no security guarantee, nothing explicit. So let's just imagine there's the Mark Aram Mining Company sets up in the Kherson region of Ukraine, and you are spending millions of dollars to try to mine titanium there. Well, let's say now someone comes to attack you, probably Russia, but let's say someone comes to attack. The U.S. will likely try to provide some protection for the Aram Mining Company, but there's nothing explicit to say that if anyone comes in and attacks Ukraine, the U.S. has to go in with the 82nd Airborne, put boots on the ground, and defend Ukraine. That's not there, but it's likely that the U.S. would protect such investments from America.
Yeah, with U.S. Boots on the ground, mining boots, not military boots, it would seem to be a deterrent that, to prevent Russia from attacking those areas where there are U.S. civilians doing the mining. So at the very least, it might not be written out military protection, but it's just assumed that, Russia would think twice about attacking a region that was housing U.S. workers.
Well, right. And oddly enough, one of the big reasons that Russia says was behind the war was they did not want Ukraine to join NATO. So you may actually have more American involvement in Ukraine now than you would have had Ukraine been allowed to be part of NATO.
Rory O'Neill joining us on the Mark Aram Show. Over the last week or so, Rory, we've kind of seen a shift from the West Wing when it comes to the Russia-Ukraine war. Obviously, President Trump was pretty harsh on Putin on Truth Social. He had the meeting with Zelensky before the papal funeral, and now the agreement of the rare earth minerals deal. This seems like good news for Ukraine over the last week, and really not so good news for the Kremlin.
Well, especially as Russia has been launching more and more aggressive attacks. I mean, that's the other thing. You had President Trump out there saying, I think Vladimir Putin wants peace. I really see an opportunity here. He had said that Zelensky was the one dragging his feet, but then it's Putin who's launching attack after attack on residential communities in Kyiv. So you sort of left President Trump stuck saying, I'm out here saying, Vlad, you're out trying to support peace, but you're the one launching attacks on civilian targets. So add that to the meeting, as you said, at the papal funeral, and now this deal for mining rights. It does seem that the U.S. is siding a bit more with Ukraine in this, because there were allegations that the U.S. was cozying up too much to Putin, especially sending Steve Witkoff there for 4 meetings now with Putin, and nothing to show for it.
Yeah, and I would imagine our NATO allies are happy about this deal as well. Rory, great stuff as always. Thanks for your time, buddy.
Thanks, Mark.
All right, so reaction has been wildly positive here in the United States. What about in Ukraine? Let's go to Kyiv. This is John Donison, BBC News correspondent.
There are no explicit security guarantees in this deal for Ukraine, but implicitly, if America has a bigger stake, a bigger financial stake in this country, then they're going to want to protect those interests. And we're talking about a deal that is not short term. It's a decades-long deal.
Decades-long deal that is a possible game changer in the Russia-Ukraine war.
The money that will be generated, that will be put into this investment fund, could be used for future military assistance, future humanitarian assistance, and also reconstruction in Ukraine, but they won't have to repay that debt.
We'll continue to monitor the story throughout the day here on 95.5 WSB as we continue to garner reaction on what is a really, really big story there with the Russia-Ukraine rare earths mineral deal. I don't know if this is good or bad, but how often, guys, here at the station do we have to reset our password at work? It seems like it happens every other day. Yeah. I know it's like every 3 months or something. This is a great story. Are your passwords strong enough? CBS News correspondent Michael Wallace has the result of a new study.
The big win for Ukraine here is that...
That's Shannon Kingston. This is Michael Wallace.
The cybersecurity firm Hive Systems has timed how long it takes the average hacker to crack your password. If it's only 4 characters long, it takes less than a second. A password with 5 characters using numbers and upper and lowercase letters would take a hacker 2 hours to figure out. A combination of 8 random characters, including numbers and symbols, would take 164 years to crack. Use a 12-character password, and the average hacker would need 3 billion years to get it. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Now, I have a long password, but it's not random letters. You know, I don't do the XF13 3, lowercase u. Like I do real words and mix in numbers and I should probably not even say any more about what I do to choose. But I don't do those random, like sometimes on some sites they'll recommend a password, like use this password, it's strong. But I never do those. I always, because I'll never remember those crazy things. So I'll always come up with, like Chick-fil-A biscuit 47 ? Or, just something I use. I just gave out my password to everything. Now, Deborah, everyone's got my Hinge password.
Great.
What do you do for passwords, Deborah? Do you mix it up? Do you use?
Yeah. So for like things that I don't care about, sometimes you have to go on a site for research, and it'll literally just be like, here's my password. And then if it's something legitimate, like a banking site or something I really care about, then I use the generator that gives you that really long thing, and I'll save it into my passkey for that.
I didn't know that was a thing. You can save it into the passkey?
Do you not use your iPhone?
I do, but I don't even know what a passkey is.
I have been.
That was very old of you, Mike.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I don't know.
You don't know? Yeah.
I don't know what they're all talking about.
There was something.
Well, you don't have an iPhone.
I don't know.
Do you know what Discord is? No, not Discord. I forgot. There's some app I had to download.
WhatsApp?
No, not WhatsApp. District. Have you ever heard of District?
No, I've heard of Discord.
Some baseball card guys are using District for buy, sell, and trade or something, and this guy's like, join my, and I was like, hold on, Maya, will you? And I had to give her my phone.
It's like another marketplace, isn't it?
I don't know.
It's like another version of eBay or something.
Yeah, I don't know, but I had to hand my phone to Maya and be like, please sign me up for this thing. Anyway, all right, congrats to Robert in Fayetteville. He won a pair of tickets to see Hans Zimmer, courtesy of the Mark Aram Show at 95.5 WSB. Robert, though, is he still eligible for the 5K day bonus blitz? He should be, right?
He should be eligible for the 5K.
You could be a double dipper today, Robert. I'm going to give you a keyword in the 5K day bonus blitz coming up after the new news. Coming up next, if you are single and ready to mingle, got a story for you. You're going to want to hear this. And if you're married and out of the game, you're going to enjoy this story, I think. Hopefully you'll enjoy the traffic report live to Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center, Alex Williams.
Much better news for those heading into Midtown, Mark. That crash that was in the second left lane now on the right shoulder, 85 southbound at 17th Street. Still jammed up from Georgia 400 as well as on the Buford Spring Connector southbound, but that will start to improve. Crash cleanup earlier still on that right shoulder with the flashing lights by the airport, 285 northbound, the inner loop past Camp Creek Parkway, and right lane construction into Cobb County, 20 eastbound between Wesley Chapel Road, exit 68, and Panola Road, exit 71. A brief tap of the brakes through the work zone, but not too bad. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
When traffic
No
hits,
traffic getting through in either direction.
the Triple Team Traffic Center has you covered.
Even the bridge over 75 is being held.
Your source for Atlanta's traffic.
Traffic out of Spaghetti Junction along 285 westbound and a crash on Peachtree Boulevard 141 southbound before 285.
Brought to you by the Cool Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Let me paint you a picture. You're standing in the kitchen of your new home, coffee in hand, sunlight pouring in, boxes mostly unpacked. Feels good, right? Now imagine your old home. Oh, it's still there, but instead of stressing about it, you know that Orchard is handling everything. Repairs, showings, upgrades, the works. Hey, it's Eric Von Hessler, and this is not a fantasy. Orchard gives you cash up front so you can buy first, move first, breathe first. And while you're living your best unpacked life, they're busy selling your old home for top dollar. Here's the twist. When it sells for more, and most of the time it does, you get that bonus too. That's 2 paydays. Not a gimmick, not a hack, just smart. That's Orchard. Why wait for tomorrow's money when you can have it today and tomorrow? Start with a free home valuation at orchard.com or call 1-844-421-SELL.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. Our low prices add up to big savings, plus over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Right now, you can save on large avocados or delicious mangoes. They're just $1.49 each with your digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
If you own a Mercedes, BMW, Porsche, or any European import, come see us at Rocco's European Garage. Better value than the dealership, upfront and clear pricing with customer approval prior to us beginning, and a 3-day appointment window to get you back on the road quicker. Rocco's European Garage.
Scott Slade here from iRoofer, FGA Roofing. Are you considering a new roof but not sure when you're going to be able to get it into the budget? FGA Roofing is offering a 000 offer this month. 0 down payment, 0 interest for 12 months, and 0 monthly payments. Search FGA Roofing for a free quote today.
Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How retailers become seamlessly restocking, cybersecurity must-visit shops. And how healthcare offices become the data managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business. Powering possibilities.
Now through May 4th, new customers can get started with 300 megabit internet and Security Edge for $69 a month for 24 months. And ask how to get free installation on qualifying bundles. Plus, find out how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Call today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account. Equipment, taxes, and other fees extra. After 24 months, regular rates apply.
Hey, folks, it's Shelley Winter here. You know, sometimes they make fun of me around the office because I doze off at my desk while doing show prep. Well, you know why that happened? It's because of a lack of sleep. I have sleep apnea. So if you snore or have sleep apnea also, you're not living life to the fullest. So listen up. I know you're tired, but in all seriousness, this is important. My friends over at Palmetto Sleep are changing lives with a custom-fit oral appliance that stops your snoring and treats sleep apnea. I'm not talking about something you buy out of a supermarket. This is a custom made for your mouth and covered by your private medical insurance. What I love most is that they do everything from the diagnosis to the delivery of the oral appliance and everything in between. They even provide a take-home sleep study and virtual consults. If you're ready for a great night's sleep, you're ready for Palmetto Sleep. Go to palmettosleep.com. That's palmettosleep.com right now. Don't suffer from another sleepless night. palmettosleep.com.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard joining MediShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
The pitch on the way.
Getting chills just listening to that. 34 years ago today, the Nolan Ryan Express. Nolan Ryan of the Texas Rangers threw his record 7th no-hitter in a home game against the Toronto Blue Jays. He struck out 16 batters, including the last man, second baseman Roberto Alomar, who was a Hall of Fame second baseman, and his tested HIV positive after his career days, after his playing days, which brings us to our next story, Deborah Green. For those that are out there in the singles market, be careful what cities do you go. These cities have the highest STD rates in the nation. Let's start. Where's Atlanta? Because Vinny's very attentive to this story. Where does Atlanta rank on this?
Well, Atlanta, luckily, is not in the top 10 for this city. We're all the way down at number 39. So you're probably okay, Vin. I trust you.
It's still pretty high.
It is high, but, we're not in the top 10.
There are a couple other Georgia cities, though, on this list that rank worse than Atlanta.
Yeah, Savannah, whatever's going on in Savannah, that comes in at number 23.
Don't mess
They're
around
the
in
highest
Savannah.
Georgia city.
And Augusta, if you just came back from the Masters, take a test.
Augusta was number 35.
35. All right, top 5 cities with the highest STD rates are what, Deborah?
Okay, number 5, Baltimore, Maryland. Number 4, not too far away, Memphis, Tennessee. Number 3, also kind of a neighbor, Montgomery, Alabama. Then you get up a little farther north. Number 2 is Philadelphia. And number 1, Motor City, Detroit, Michigan.
Ooh, all right. Be careful on the dating apps in Motown, Detroit City. Speaking of Motown music, I don't know. I do have a music story. This is specifically for my mother, who is listening right now. Babs, Barbra Streisand has a new album coming out. Michael Toscano tells us it's an all-star filled with duets.
First release from the album. Streisand and Hozier. The full album, due out June 27, is called The Secret of Life, Partners, Volume 2. She's paired with, among others, Tim McGraw, Paul McCartney, Mariah Carey, and Bob Dylan. The tracks are a mix of original songs and covers like this one.
Also appearing on the new Babs album, James Taylor, Sting.
CBS News.
Now, hold on, Michael. I'm trying to tell you what else is on the album. James Taylor, Sting, Seal, Ariana Grande, and Laufey, Laufey, Laufey. Who knows? Congrats, Barbs.
Longoria's Fact of the Day.
All right, today is National Mother Goose Day, and Mother Goose is a legendary figure often credited with a vast collection of nursery rhymes, songs, and stories, although her true identity and origins remain a mystery. While some believe she was a real woman in the 17th century Boston who wrote rhymes for her grandchildren, others suggest the name evolved over time from French and German traditions.
Yeah, Mother Goose is real. She taught me in 4th grade. I think everyone had a teacher growing up that looked like Mother Goose. Anyway, weird day, Mother Goose Day. Let's do some stars of the show before I give away $1,000 again.
And now, are you guys ready for the Mark Aram Star of the Show?
Man, Vinny Drip took initiative. He was starving. Went out and got a Chick-fil-A run. Congrats, Vinny. You know how to steal those stars of the show. Alexander Tin, CBS News. State Senator Jason Estevez joined us live. He is running for governor. Steve Dennis from Bloomberg News. Justin Gray from Channel 2 Action News. Steve Portnoy, ABC. Rory O'Neill. Manola Zubrira, the chief tournament officer for the FIFA World Cup. And I'm going to get a star of the show for that interview because I had to do a favor for one of our bosses in the interview, and so I did it, Crawford. I got it done, son. Social medias. I've got them. I'm active. At Mark Arum, MarkArum. Don't go anywhere right after the new news. I'm giving you a keyword in the 5K day bonus split. Stay safe. Have a great Thursday, Atlanta.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
WSB consumer expert Clark Howard, sponsored by Ragsdale Heating, Air, Plumbing, and Electrical.
So many people post everything about their lives on various forms of social media, TikTok, whatever. And the problem is that if you post something that you're